difficult for me to jump. I'm not, I don't know, I'm slim, but I wouldn't say I'm athletic. So a lot of people were jumping out. It was hard for me. So, but at some point I jumped. I didn't sustain any injury as at then. But then when I was running, because of the nature of the place, there are thorns everywhere. The thorns kept piercing my leg and everything. No sandals. We already lost our bags in the car. I was just running alongside people. So the kind of race was, people are running towards this direction. As they are running back. People are running towards this. You join these ones. You know, everybody is trying to escape, but the security persons had already surrounded everywhere, and then with armored cars, I wouldn't have an idea if they were asked to shoot anyone, but they were shooting kind of to threaten us to stay in one place, but people were still running, so the shooting continued, didn't stop. So while they were shooting, at some point, they are not shooting like randomly, like maybe releasing bullets often, but just once, just like that. So a lot of people were running towards a direction. I joined them. Anywhere they are running towards, I joined them, just like that. But then, at some point, my sisters already left me. I don't even know where they ran to. The guy that was supposed to be taking care of us also left. So I just stood somewhere, and then I said, if these people are going to kill me, let them just kill me. I was crying, like, God. I was crying seriously. I was saying, just kill me. If I just remember that moment, I'm like, God, if I could survive that, there is nothing that God can't save anyone from. I was crying. I was saying, just shoot me, just kill me, let me just die. What kind of suffering is this? I was crying, and then the guy stopped. And then he was like giving me signal to come closer, come closer. So when I got closer to them, the man said, enter this place. I entered. He gave me water. That was the first thing he did. So it was like, don't worry, no problem. So when he said that, don't worry, no problem, I just felt like, okay, then why is it that they are now chasing us? Is it like they want to save us? Is it like they want to help or anything? So at some point, they brought us together. They were able to they were able to gather as many people as possible, to the extent that we filled this big truck was filled with people. And then some hillocks too had to join in taking us to the police station. They brought books. We started writing our names. Everyone, write your name, write your country, write your name, write your country. Everyone, people were just writing their names and country. We did the same. So they brought us together. And then they told us, okay, they are going to take us somewhere. And then that's where we will sleep for the night. And then they will register us and return us to our country. But before then, a white man came to speak to us. So the man asked us where we are traveling to and why are we traveling. So many people were saying, I was just looking. So many people were saying, there's hunger in my country. They are killing us in my country. There's suffering in my country. There is this in my country. You know, a lot of people were saying their reasons for traveling. He wasn't asking personally. He was just asking the entire people who were there. And then they were filming it. So majority of us had to cover our face so that we don't get captured, but some people were really vocal, like saying so many things before the man addressed us and told us that he's been to Nigeria severally. And then he's been to most of the African countries too, that we have food. A lot of us have good shelter, particularly Nigerians. He kept hammering, particularly Nigerians, there is good food in your country. I've tasted this, I've tasted that. You know, he mentioned most of the meals, and then he told us that there is no cost for this kind of traveling. Do you even know where you're going to? Do you know if it's worth where you're going to and all of that? Then they took us somewhere. They put us together in a particular environment. And then a few days later, they came to tell us that we'll be leaving back to our country. So there was rumor everywhere. People were saying, I pity people that will go back to Nigeria. I just pity people that will go back to Nigeria. The kind of suffering they will go and suffer. Police is already waiting for them. My brother called me, said that there is news that they are bringing back people, that police is waiting for them. They will arrest them because they traveled without documents. So we were all scared. And then we decided to run away, majority of us. So at night, while the security guards were sleeping, majority of us started jumping out of the fence, and then somebody brought an idea to open the gate, you know, some kind of dubious act, which is not actually good, which wasn't good for us. But because of the kind of rumor, because of the kind of things we heard, we joined, everybody left. You know, we're still hiding. It's not like you're leaving and you're just coming out to say, I'm going. No, you're hiding from place to place, hiding until we got to a particular house. When we left, we got to a particular house. There were 6 of us in a group now, no longer I and those my 3 people. They were with me. Those 2 sisters, that guy, the 4 of us were complete as at then. And then 2 other guys joined us. So the person that owned the house agreed to keep us in her house for that night. And then I think her husband came back and asked her where. She told the husband brought a driver. So none of us had an idea that we were sold. So the man sold us to the driver. None of us had an idea. We just thought the man helped us. You know, that was the idea in my head, like, God bless this man. He finally helped us out of this place. So the driver took us, proceeded to somewhere they called Nitel. That was what they told us, that place is Nitel. So they hid us in their family house at first. Then in their family house, we met their one of the sisters that had already gone to Italy before. The lady told us she can't speak English, so she had to use diagram to express herself. She gave a sign of water and then a sheep on the water, and then she told us how she was working there. She was washing clothes, that's probably doing dry cleaning or something like that. I don't know what she was doing over there, but me, I just assumed and then I told my sisters, that means maybe she did house help work over there. So we had fun with them because they were nice people. I didn't figure out if they were among the people who bought us, but they were nice to us. They gave us food. That was the first place where I had to brush my teeth, have my bath, you know. It was a good treatment for us. So throughout the 4 days we were in their house, they treated us nicely. And then after a while, the driver came back. And then the driver told us that in a few days he will come and take us. This thing was already summing up to like 3 weeks already within the desert environment. A few days later, he came again and then he said, oh yeah, get ready. You'll be leaving this night. After a few hours, he came back in the night. And then they told us, everyone to lie down inside the hillocks, and then they sealed it. So they took us from there, took us to another garage. Then that garage, they had a lot of drivers now. It wasn't just him. So I think he was looking around for passengers, but didn't succeed that day. So he told us to stay in a particular room, don't come out till he comes back. 4 days later, he came back with food. He didn't take us out of there. After like 2 days, he came back again, came back with food. So I told my brothers that the food is not as if it's enticing. This guy has caged us here. Probably something will go wrong. Let's leave this place. So the man and then the other guy that was with us said, okay, let's leave. Okay, so if we leave now, where will we go to? I say, me, if I leave like this, I'll be walking down. I would want to see a policeman. They should take me back to Nigeria. What kind of suffering is this one? This place that they locked us for like 4 days. Not as if the house is very enclosed. That same breeze that was even blowing in the other place was still blowing and bringing sand. So that I'm not comfortable here. They said, okay, let's leave. We left. We met some drivers. Those ones, come. They served food, eat. Don't worry, we will take you. Libya, they are not even calling it Libya. They will tell you Libya. Libya. I'm like, I'm not going to Libya, me, Nigeria. No, Libya, like their own is, don't worry, we will help you anywhere you want to go to. That particular place you want to go to, we will help you get there, but you can't go back. So I told my brother that these guys are actually saying that they want to help us go back to go to Libya, but they can't help us go to Nigeria. My brother was like, were you intending to go back to Nigeria before? We're going forward though, it's not backward. You know, after everything, we spent a few hours with those guys, no headway out. I told them they are not even ready to take us to Libya. I carried my bag. And it was more like that stubbornness was actually what saved us, because I don't even know what was their plan. But I just told my brothers, I'm not staying here 1 minute again. I'm leaving. So, because I was stubborn, they said, hey, if we leave you now, who knows what will happen to you? Oh yeah, let all of us keep going. They joined me. The drivers were offended. They were like, come back, come back, come back, come back. We didn't answer. We left. Until we met these policemen. So one of the policemen just called us. And then my bros said, we are going to Libya. The man said, you don't have, like he was explaining to them, my bros, you people don't have problem. I will carry you to where your brothers are, plenty. And then I figured out, okay, plenty Nigerians. And then I told my brother, if there is a place where a lot of people are, it's better than this place where it's just the 6 of us. So they took us from there to where a lot of Nigerians are. I met a lot of people. I felt a bit comfortable. There was not much space for the 6 of us, but we just had to like manage in that place where they kept us. And then we spent some days again there. So we were waiting for the drivers to come. They didn't come. And then after a few days, the drivers came. So they started calling, like they shared us into groups. This driver take this one, this driver take this one, this driver take this one. So then we're already approaching Libya. So they took us, it wasn't now up to 2 days, we got to Libya. So when we got to Libya, I think it was the border, the driver came down, he then asked us to pay a certain amount of money. He asked everyone to bring a certain amount of money, so that my brother helped us to pay ours, and then they took us from there. After paying that money, they took us from there. They just proceeded into Libya. We got to Saba. The driver called someone. That particular person they called came around, and the person told us that he's going to take this group somewhere. So they took that particular group. They were just taking people like in groups, in different groups. And then from that point, they took us to a particular man. The man is Igbo. So when we got to his house, the man looked at all of us, was like, the guys, this is your room. The girls, this is your room. So in that room where he said is for the girls, I saw a lot of ladies, even people that were younger than me were in that same room. So I was like, how did you guys get here? What is going on, you know? We started talking, a lot of Benin girls, they were just saying, welcome Odisona Jadid, welcome Odisona, you know, Jadid means new person. You know, they were just saying a lot of things. And then at the end of the day, I got bonded to a particular lady that really shared her experience. Happened to be that she has not been able to pay her money. So when I asked her, she said 300,000. So we started getting information from the people within that if you're unable to pay your money, you stay there. So towards the evening of that same day, like around 5 p.m., the man came to assemble all the new passengers. All the new passengers come outside, we came out. He took us to a particular hall, asked all of us to sit on the floor. We sat down. He said, we are welcome. We answered. Me, I was even feeling comfortable, believing that this person is from my place. He's a Nigerian, so he should be nice, you know. So when he was about to tell us what Libya was, the first thing was a gunshot. In fact, for like few seconds, I couldn't recover from the shock. I had to hide behind our bros, like the whole of us just held him. The man said, everybody, oh yeah, this way, this way. Like he had to like scatter us so that we don't get to communicate with each other. He had big boys. In fact, those big boys, if they handle one person, I'm sure the person will not survive it. So I was shaking. And then the man said, he just wants to let us know that we are in Libya now. And that now that you are here, he's giving us just a few hours to give him his money. He paid for us, he bought us. He was saying it like, You know when someone is actually practically trying to pass a message across to you with everything he's got inside, the kind of anger, I'm like, I didn't offend this man before. But the way he was saying it was like, I'm just telling you that you have to pay this money within the space of so and so hours. If you don't pay it for the girls, you work and give me my money. For the boys, you die here. So the thing sounded somehow. We just had to like beg him, just allow us to discuss. We are from the same family. He said, okay. After a while, then my brother said, please give us your phone. You are begging in tears. If you're even asking for the phone, it's not up to like, they are not giving you to call. They are giving you to just say, I'm in Libya, please call me back. You can't use their airtime to inform whoever you are informing. Sorry. So at the end of the day, we were able to reach out to the people that invited us to France. Those ones said they would send someone to come and pick us in a few hours. We should be patient. We were there, we were waiting. After a while, I came to call down my bros. Your people, they disturb me with call. Your people, they disturb. If they disturb me again with call, now I go beat you, you know. We're hearing it from our own side, and I was like, is that not bros this person is talking to like this? You know, the fear was more. We pleaded, okay, can we talk to bros? So you have to plead to see a guy in that room. In fact, you're not even allowed to see a guy. They don't give you room to see any guy. So we're able to like talk to bros. How far? Did they call? He now asked for phone again to reach out to them. So he was able to get to them again, and then they sent someone across. So I think the person who was supposed to bring the money was now pricing lower than the 300. I think the person was now saying 250. That was where the anger came from. At the end of the day, the man came with the money. He paid 1 million for the 4 of us, and then took us from that place to his house. From his house, we moved. It's still within the, yes, still in Libya. So from that place to the sea coast, and the sea coast was not very easy for me as well. That's from his house to the sea coast was also very traumatizing. And then at some point, I even had an experience where I was sleeping in a room. In that particular room was mixed with both guys and ladies. So there was this Sudanese that they brought into the room to join us, because initially it was with Ghanaians. So the Sudanese took a part of the room, we took a part of the room. And so in the night I was sleeping, I covered myself because I have this habit of using wrapper to cover myself from foot to head. And then there was this guy that I don't know, among the Sudanese, he crawled to where I was, tapped me. I woke up, I was like, what? The guy put his hand in his pocket, brought out 5 dinar. 5 dinar in their money is 500 naira, Nigerian naira, and was begging me like, I could not wrap my head around it. So I just screamed, and then the Ghana guy woke up first and was like, what is happening? You know, they started arguing amongst themselves, and at the end of the day, those Sudanese, they apologized on behalf of their brother, that they were sorry about what happened. Probably he just thought something different in his mind before bringing it, that they are sorry. So the whole thing was migrants abusing migrants, security agencies abusing migrants. The experience was just too hard for me. I had a case where someone was trying to communicate something to me that I should sit down in the vehicle, those long trucks. I didn't understand him. I don't know that GAMS means sit down. I'm just new in the environment. But this man had an idea in his head that any language he speaks or whatever he says, I should understand. So the next thing was, I don't know what he used in hitting me on my head. I was bleeding, and then somebody was saying, sit down, sit down. That's what he's saying, sit down. So I sat down, and then I noticed I was bleeding. And The lady was like, sorry, if I knew you were the one he was talking to, I would have told you to sit down. If you are sat down, the guy will not hit you. And then in most cases, for them to say sit down, they will have to shoot, for you to sit down. At least the communication differences should have been understood by them, but the case was different. For them, when they communicate, you don't understand, they become violent. So it was really hard till we got to the sea coast, spent some time around the sea coast trying to cross, had people die. Someone died while giving birth. So had cases of people dying. A particular lady died trying to give birth because there were no professionals around, and then people claimed that in their countries they were professionals, they could help her give birth, they could help her deliver. It was a sad experience. At the end of the day, she died, the baby died, and I just told myself, this one is just a wasted time, like wasted efforts. You're trying to get out of trouble, you get into more trouble. And even family doesn't know where you are because you can't even call them. I don't have access to any communication device. I can't reach anyone except maybe I'll have to pay someone to borrow his phone or have to, the situation was even very difficult because a lot of people will not even give you their phones to make call. They wouldn't even want you to buy the airtime to make the call. So it was a very difficult one until finally the security agencies came. They arrested every one of us around that sea coast. They arrested everyone. In fact, people tried to escape. Some tried to jump into the water. People tried to run, but wherever you are, they will find you and they will bring you back to the spot. And then they took us to a detention center, Garian. After a few days, they also took us from there to Tripoli, Terigmata Detention Center. So it was in Terigmata that the International Organization for Migration came visiting, and then some UN agencies, once they come around, they check on us. Whenever they are coming, these Libyan agents, policemen, they will ask us, they will give us so many things. You wouldn't even know if it is the UN guys that brought it, but when they are gone, they will lock us up back again. When they come around, we'll do sports, they will bring us out. It's as if we're enjoying our lives. When those guys are gone, we'll go back to the prison, they lock us up again and all of that. So IOM came, we all filled forms, those who want to go back home, because a lot of people said they are not going. Those ones that didn't go did what they call banamish. You pay, someone pays for you, like someone will come around, pay, yes, kind of bill them, pay the money, take you out of the prison, and then you work for the person. So I almost tried that, but a particular lady, she's from Delta, so she speaks my language. And then she told me that if I pay this money, in fact, she used our language to tell me, Idama, Yangoso. That is, if you try this, you just die. And then if I remember that she told me that, and if anyone comes to me to say, I want to help you to live here, I would just tell them I'm not interested. I want to go back to Nigeria.
Nigeria's Niger Delta region, from where the black gold fuels Africa's largest economy, where the lines between wealth and poverty has never been thinner. Conflicts, poverty, insecurity, and environmental challenges daily confront the region. How can the Niger Delta story be changed for the better?
Join Mamude Akuga at 9 p.m. every Friday evening on PlusTvAfrica as he probes deep in search of solutions.
Inside the Niger Delta with Mamude Akuga, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region.
This is it for upcoming artists to blow in Nigeria.
Welcome to Plus Trending. I am Bookie November, your host, saying thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Welcome back. It's tea time on PlusTvAfrica.
Practice makes perfect. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm a lot better than I used to be.
He's a king. He's entitled to marry 100 if he wants to.
Increase the reach of your events or business services. To advertise on Plus TV Africa, please call 0906 000 5719 or 0909 040 8408, or send an email to marketing@PlusTvAfrica.com. Plus TV Africa. Big stories live here.
Thinking of starting a less capital-intensive but profitable business than producing coconut oil wouldn't be a bad idea. The coconut oil production business is known to be one of many profitable small-scale businesses any entrepreneur can venture into in Nigeria. Coconut oil is also known to be majorly produced in countries like India, Indonesia, and the Philippines. While in Nigeria, the production of coconut oil is known to still be in its infancy, but certainly there have been exponential build-up in the demand for coconut oil in Nigeria since the year 2006 due to its numerous health benefits. This has made a lot of Nigerian producers to get more involved in this sector. According to statistics, in 2015-2016, the global export volume of coconut oil amounted to 3.32 million metric tons, while in the following year, it appreciated to 3.44 million metric tons, whereas Nigeria alone was estimated to have produced approximately 246,000 metric tons of coconut oil in 2017 alone. This certainly shows the growth in the demand for coconut oil across the country over the years. Considering the diverse benefit of the produce, it has been a great help in creating different points of sale. Producers could choose what they want their products to sell for, either as a cooking ingredient, as a hair supplement, as a skin supplement. There is so much to what coconut oil can do, being a naturally and organically generated product, which is also abundant in vitamins and minerals.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Ladies Talking Business. I am Moremi Akonwo. Our guest today is the brand owner of Orekelewa Organics, which was inspired by a personal pain point with tonsillitis and a search for a natural cure after 3 failed procedures. The information gotten from her research online spurred her into producing cold-pressed coconut oil in her kitchen for personal consumption. She has a first degree in economics, a master's degree in management technology, and a number of professional certifications in credit management. She emerged as the top 100 emerging SMEs 2019 by Connect Nigeria. She is an alumni of AWEC, African Women Entrepreneurs Cooperative, an alumni of AWE, Academy of Women Entrepreneurs, and an alumni of the Enterprise Development Center of Lagos Business School. She is Yinka Oshifeso. Thanks for joining us on the show today, Yinka.
And thank you for having me.
I like it when I read bios of my guests and there's just so much. It makes me so proud. Okay, so this tonsillitis story.
Yeah.
Tell us what inspired you to seek for natural remedies.
Okay, so my story dates back to when I was a little child. I would say I can remember as far back as when I was 9 years old. You know, so I was this child who was very healthy, but then the only thing that I had, you know, coming against me was tonsillitis. Now, tonsillitis in layman's language is an acute sore throat, you know, and so I had that bout coming in almost every month. And then I was taken from one hospital to another and all of that. And then I remember very well when one of the surgeons or the ENT practitioners told me that, or told my parents that they needed to do a procedure so that, this thing could stop. And so they agreed to it. And so we went into an hospital, Lagos State University Teaching Hospital. And you would understand that for you to even be put in there, for the procedure, you didn't have to have tonsillitis going on at the time. So it was almost like I went for an holiday, you know. And this procedure could only happen on Mondays. So anyway, I went in the first Monday. The doctors were on strike. The second Monday, there was no water in the theater. The third Monday, the blood that my father had donated had been used for somebody else. And so my mother just called me up aside. I mean, as an African mom, the Yoruba mom, and she was like, that's, God doesn't speak to you more than this. Like, it looks like if you go in the fourth time, you probably will not come out. I even had a bad experience whilst I was even there, because somebody who was sick beside me in the hospital passed on. And so for me, as a 9-year-old, it was a terrible time. Anyway, I was told that if I couldn't do the procedure, then I had to live with that procedure for the rest of my life. I mean, and I was thinking in my head, no ice cream, no, no cold drinks, because I had a long list from doctors. This, you shouldn't do this, shouldn't do this, and all of that. Yeah. You know, okay, fast forward to when I started working and internet was available to everyone. I started to do a research and find out, I mean, there should be something natural that I could use that would cure this, you know. And then I stumbled on coconut oil, you know. I remember as a child that when I go to the hospital, the doctors were always telling my parents that she needs to increase or boost her immunity. And so when I found out that coconut oil could boost your immunity.
I thought it was vitamin C that could boost our immunity.
Well, it didn't work for me, maybe, you know. So, I mean, that's, you know, a little bulb in my head, you know, and then I started to find myself researching it and wanting to know more. And I found out that it could even also help with other things.
Okay, so let's talk about the other things. What are some of the benefits of using cold pressed? Why is it called cold pressed?
Okay, because of the process. Okay, so the cold pressed, as the name suggests, doesn't have any heat used or minimal heat. Okay. You know, minimal heat has been introduced to the process. Okay. You know, so we have the hot pressed and we have the cold pressed. So the hot pressed goes through boiling or frying, as it were.
So does that diminish the results, the potency?
I would like to stand and say, because I mean, people have asked me this question a couple of times, and my take is, I would say no. It doesn't totally diminish it, because there are different, the cold press can be used for more things, is what I would say. Okay. While the hot pressed is limited in the use of what you can use it for, you know, health-wise.
So let's talk about the benefits of cold-pressed coconut oil.
Okay, I like to answer this question in this way. Now, cold-pressed coconut oil is a multi-purpose oil, and that in itself tells you that you can use it in more than one ways. Okay. And of course, that means that you're saving money, and you have less product to work with. Okay. You know, so that's, for me alone, is a lot of benefits. And then I like to also put the benefits in like 5 strata. So one is health and wellness. With health and wellness, you can use coconut oil for oral health. Like it helped me with tonsillitis. It also helps with whitening your teeth.
Whitening your teeth.
And removing mouth odor over time. Yes, so that it helps with oral health. It also helps to increase your energy.
Coconut oil?
Yes, when you intake it. Yes. And it's also been researched to help with stabilizing your sugar level and all of that. So that's what it's with health and wellness.
So do you have to just like take a spoon, or you cook with it?
You can cook with it. You can, I mean, I had to cook with it and drink it over time. Wow. You know, when I was starting to use it. I know that sounds very, very, you know. And then there's the hair care and the skin care that you can use coconut oil for. You can also use it for production. So there are hardly any skincare products out there that you do not have to use coconut oil in. You know, there might be a few that would require olive oil, almond oil, and other types. You know, but most body care and skincare shampoo products would require you using coconut oil as base for production. And there's also household care, So you can use your coconut oil to polish the table. You can use it to polish your furniture. You can use it to polish the leaves of your in-house plants. Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk more about this after the break. We will be back for more conversations with our guests after the break.
In raising our kids, parents should stop playing God.
The internet is actually using the people.
But when you are looking for money to help other people, then it becomes easy.
Don't rush into marriage. I always say this. You rush in, you rush out.
Family is the bedrock of every society and the essence of life.
On Today with John and Helen, we dig deep into family values in every sense of the word.
Join us every Saturday at 9:15 a.m. on PlusTvAfrica, DSTV channel 408.
With you, we play a part in strengthening the values passed from generation to generation.
I'm still here with Yinka Oshifeso of Orekelewa Organics. Okay, so you've just told us about how valuable coconut oil is. Even though you've asked us to, you can use it for furniture and I'm like, it's too expensive for that. But let's talk about the business side. So you're into natural products, making coconut oil, shea butter, and the likes. How can you build a career or a business from natural products?
How? The first thing I would say to anybody who wants to do this is, one, to have the education, be informed. It's just not anything you want to go into. Have a good source of the supply of your products, because the truth is that you can't do everything on your own. There's hardly any manufacturer who produces their raw materials, all their raw materials by themselves. So some of this you have to source from farmers, you have to source from people who have also worked on the raw materials. I would also tell anybody who's starting off with this business to know the motive in which they're starting off the business for. So are you doing it because it looks like every other person who's doing something organic is doing very well? Is that why you want to go into that business? You must understand why you're into it. Are you solving an issue? Are you solving a problem? What problems are you solving? Because those are the things that would speak for you and make you stand when the problems actually come, because they would come. Then what else would I say? Be informed and have... I
think it's important. The education bit is very important.
Yes, and then also have a community of business people around you. Okay. You can't continue to work alone. For you to grow and to expand, you need a community of business people around you, to gain from their knowledge, wealth of experience and all of that, over time.
Wow, thanks so much for that. So, running a business in Nigeria. I always get that reaction. What lessons have you learned?
I don't think you're ready for my lessons.
No, tell us about
because
some.
I have a...
Tell us about some. I will stop you when I feel that you're taking our time too much on it.
Okay. First, I'll start from government policies.
Okay.
So, what I've learned is what the question is, right? Okay, so let me start like this. What I've learned that working as an entrepreneur will not give you so much time. After all,
I thought entrepreneurship was supposed to make you have time for yourself.
Yes, it was a scam. Apparently. We were not told everything. So you want to leave your 9-to-5 job thinking that you would have more time for yourself and for the family. And trust me, you just got into what they would say, one chance. Because it doesn't exist. No, there are days that I sleep In fact, many days that I sleep at 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock because I'm still, putting ends to some figures, workload, supplies, who's going to supply this, who's going to production lines and all of that, into the night. There's also, and then I also learned, I wrote some things down, that you have to have a strategy.
Very important.
Very, very important. You can't walk into or go into business without one. For us, we knew from the beginning that we were going to be working with distributors and with supermarkets.
Okay.
From the very beginning. For us, that was the strategy. And so it looked like, even though we were small at the time, why were you in the supermarkets? It was a strategy for us from the very beginning.
So for you, you felt that was better than selling to individuals?
Oh, absolutely. Individuals. Absolutely. Because as of today, as at the last count, we have 84 distributors across the country and in 3 other countries. Yes, so we're present in 28 states and we have 84 distributors and we are in over 250 supermarkets.
Oh, wow.
There was no way I could have done that by myself. So that was a strategy that worked. What other things I learned was to always treat your employees very well, and they will stick their neck for you at every point in time. I always tell people that they're your very first customers. So if you treat your employees properly, no matter what level that you are in, so in our organization, we have what we call Happy Fridays, where we just have lunch together. It could be snacks today, this month. It could be rice next month. It could be swallow next month. It could just be drinks and all of that. But then it brings us together. And then people want to relate better. And then they can stick their neck, like I said, for you. And then also what I've also learned over time is that create a relationship with your customers. Now, what I do, so a lot of people have asked me over time and said, they thought I had outsourced my social media platform to somebody because they could not believe I was the same person who was responding to everybody. And so I could be chatting with like 10 people at a time and they all would have a sense of belonging and have a sense and a beautiful customer experience every time that I talk with them. And so that has helped us because we have many returning customers over time. I mean, 6 years, we have a lot of people who've come back, to buy our products because of that.
Amazing. Okay, so natural products. Tell us some interesting facts about them. So it can be coconut oil, it can be shea butter, but basically natural products. What interesting facts should we know?
Okay, so I'd always say, so I'll answer that question this way. Natural products are from natural plants or fruits. Okay? So if that is established. Now we have for coconuts, we have over 100 species.
Of coconuts?
Of coconuts.
Not the same coconuts?
No. So some coconuts are very good for coconut oil. Some are good for coconut chips. Some are good for coconut flour. Some are good for just for you to eat. And some are good for the coconut water. Okay, so if you use either for the other one, you might not get your best output.
So you need to learn about
So you need to know the species, So that's one fact most people don't know. So sometimes you can, and you would have oil anyway. So that's why some people would say, how are you able to have so much oil, at once? And I've tried to do this thing at home by myself, but I couldn't get as much oil, because we were using the wrong species of coconut to try to get oil.
Right.
So that's one fact I always want to let out, about our natural products.
So just give me one more.
What other one would I say?
So there's this one I always like to ask about. Longevity. How long can it stay for being natural?
Okay. So for coconut oil, it can last on the shelf for 3 years.
Okay.
We, however, put on our products 2 years, because anyway, our products don't last up to 2 years.
You finish it.
You know, so as long as you've not introduced moisture, water into a natural product, or yes, it will last you.
Okay, we'll talk more about this shortly.
Thank you.
We will go on a short break. Please stay with us.
Nigeria, by extension, Africa, is faced with a lot of challenges. The growing youth population with little engagement, that is a ticking time bomb. We are a blessed people with diverse culture and highly cerebral minds who have a lot to say. And yes, we are talking. It is important we drive the right conversation that informs, inspires, influences thoughts and action. If we say there's beauty in our diversity, then let us embrace our diverse culture. We must continue to courageously be the voice of transformation, as we are the hope for the future. Yesterday's conversations shape today. What are you saying to shape your tomorrow? We know you have a lot to say, and we are here to hear you.
Thanks for staying with us on Ladies Talking Business. We have been having conversations with Yinka Oshifeso of Orekelewa Organics. So Yinka, let's talk about business collaborations. What are your thoughts in this day and age?
Very dicey issue, actually, because I had an experience, funny enough, yesterday. Okay, so we have our coconut oil line, we have the shea butter, and we are about launching our African snacks line. But last year, we set out to launch another product line this year, which would be for new moms. It would have some of our products and some other products for babies and the new mom. And so I needed to speak with other people who had this product, other products, you know, that they could go into the gift box. It was supposed to be like a hamper, you know, for as a gift to new moms. And I spoke with somebody yesterday. I checked her on Instagram, and then I approached her on WhatsApp, and I told her that I needed to, I wanted her to come on board. This was the business idea, and then would like to collaborate with her. And she kept asking questions. Is this an NGO? Is this an... I'm like, no. Is this for free? I'm like, no, we are going to pay for it. And, oh, it's like a collaboration. And I said, oh, yes, finally, she got it. And she went, oh, she doesn't do collaborations. And I was like, really? You know? And I told her, oh, that I would, this was late into the night, so that we would talk later today. I mean, that took me aback, because I was shocked that somebody out there didn't even want to collaborate with other people in 2022, in this today's world. You know, so that for me was funny. I've had different collaborations over the years, you know, and I've not, you know, regretted anyone. You know, we've had collaborations during Christmas, you know, where we have other people's products go into an hamper, and then everybody sells it at their own level. You know, it's collaborations increases your sales, increases growth for you. It makes people more aware of you, because now the customers of the other person becomes your own customer. And your own customer becomes the other person's customer. So there's a synergy, and then there's, everybody, it's a win-win. Actually, but I think when people are collaborating, actually, they should have collaborations with like minds. Some other people want to take advantage of you, you know, and so that's why I found that other partnership very funny, because I was going to pay for it. So you have nothing to lose anyway. So I'm not asking you to give it to us for free. We're going to pay for it. If I'm going to pay for it, then there shouldn't be any problem.
Okay. So what advice do you have for other entrepreneurs in the same industry as you on running a business?
Let's plant more coconuts.
Okay.
Let's plant more coconuts is what I would say. Because, I mean, lately, raw materials that are coconut oil, I mean, I have shea butter as my raw material also for the other products. However, for coconut oil, it's becoming very scarce. And then if you understand that the germination level or age of the coconut is 4 years, it takes 4 years for it to grow for us to be able to
planting the better.
the
so
better.
You need to plant every year.
Like every day.
Yeah, every day.
Every day. Okay. Every day, actually. You know, so, and I would say to every other person in our industry, please let's collaborate more. We can't always all do this together alone. I keep emphasizing on that. There's a need for us to come together, have a hub, for instance, you know, because the coconut has a lot of derivatives you can get from it. It has a lot of byproducts you can get from it. You know, you have the coconut oil, you have the coconut flour, you have the coconut charcoal, you have the milk, you have the coconut water, you have even the outer part of the coconut, the husk, that can be used for mask or mats rather, and can be used for arts and figurines and all of that. You can use for bowls, you know. So the more we collaborate, the better it will be for the industry.
Okay, Yinka, before I let you go, I want you to tell me about your business goals. You know, for Orikelewa Organics. So I have a business. So what are your goals and what drives your goals?
Honestly, I have a lot of it in my head, but what I would say first is that our major business goal is to make the customer happy.
Okay.
Make the customer happy, and we are targeted towards the urban family. Okay, so everybody in the family, every member of the family can use our products.
Okay.
You know, so we are all about unity in the family, you know, unison in the family and all of that. So that's for us is core. And then accessibility and affordability of our products to the family.
Okay, so what drives these goals for you?
I mean,
because I'm sure there are times you wake up and you're like, you know, I'm not doing anything today. I'm frustrated.
Oh, you don't want to know about those days because there are days like that.
Yeah.
You know, so I would say that the results that we have, you know, so people call me like 11 p.m. in the night or send me messages and you're hearing, is that Orikelewa? God bless you. Oh, I use this product for my baby rash. I use it for this for this issue, and it's gone. You know, if you go through our page, you'll see a lot of, you know, feedbacks from our customers. So those kind of things, feedbacks, you know, keep us going is what I would say.
Amazing.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Yinka, for coming on Ladies Talking Business. We wish you the very best.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Thanks for joining us on this episode of Ladies Talking Business today. Do join us this same time next week for another episode. And don't forget to follow us on PlusTvAfrica Lifestyle on YouTube to catch up with our programs. I am Murmi Akon. See you next week.
There is no voting on social media. To vote, you would require a permanent voter's card. To get your PVC, visit cvr.inecnigeria.org. Create your account with a valid email address and start the registration process. An activation link will be sent to you. Click on the link and activate your account. Fill out the form, pick and submit a convenient date and time for your biometrics. Print the application slip, which should have your QR code. On the appointed date, go to the nearest INEC office for your biometric capturing. Thereafter, you will get a registration slip to pick your permanent voter's card when ready. Get your PVC today. This message is from PlusTvAfrica.
Good afternoon to you. I am Justin Akadonye, and this is the news brief on PlusTvAfrica. Now, kinsmen and supporters of Professor Yemi Osinbajo have stormed major streets within Abeokuta metropolis in jubilation after the vice president declared to join the 2023 presidential race. They were armed with placards and banners in a solitary demonstration tagged "A Walk for Osinbajo." Addressing journalists, the APC stalwart Boyega Isiaka said Osinbajo's declaration was not a betrayal to Asiwaju Tinubu as been speculated in some quarters.
I think in terms of capacity and experience and readiness for the job, I want to say that he's probably the number one that we have within the APC today. I think I'm convinced that he will do it from everything that we are hearing from everywhere. I believe, of course, a lot of work still needs to be done. I mean, this is not all about working. This working is just one of those many things that will be done. Well, the most important thing is that you need experience, and that experience he has. Even if it is that some errors have been made, which is only God that will not make errors, it is to make it better. In all of this, what you need, in my view, to run a good government is capacity, experience, knowledge, and a good heart. And I think Professor Osinbajo has all this.
A Catholic priest has declared his intention to contest the governorship seat in Benue State in the 2023 general elections. Reverend Father Hyacinth Alia visited the state secretariat of the All Progressives Congress APC to make his intention known. Alia said he has what it takes to run the race and win, citing his long years of service to humanity in the church and communities as relevant qualifications.
My presence before you and the state exco again is to seek permission from you that I'm in this race to win it. I'm coming from the backdrop of the church. In the church, our clergy are trained to be everything. We pinch pennies, but we build church structures. We pinch, but the little we get, we place it where it is supposed to go. That beholds much on accountability, responsibility, and transparency. That must remain my foothold. As I seek your blessing to step further with consultations for the first, the number one seat in the state, I'm also before you to pray your earnest blessings on me.
Responding, the Deputy State Chairman of the APC, Stephen Sav, extolled the leadership qualities of Father Alia, but charged all aspirants to work for their victories.
You made a request, and you said we should allow you go out and contest election. On behalf of the party secretary, party ESCO, who are seated here, we say yes to that request. We have allowed you to go all out, all the nooks and crannies of Benue State, consult widely. What we will not do as an ESCO is to adopt an individual as a candidate. We will not do that. We will not endorse you.
A cross-section of Nigerians who have exercised their civic responsibilities by voting during elections says though the process is usually stressful, it is worth the while as it gives a sense of fulfillment as citizens. In this report, our correspondent Jacinta Obuku x-rays ways of ending voter apathy.
One responsibility of citizens is voting. The law does not require citizens to vote, but voting is a very important part of any democracy. By voting, citizens are participating in the democratic process, but when not, they hand over political power to views they may oppose. While some say they are not confident in the election process in the country over the years, others believe it is their right to choose who governs them, irrespective of the cumbersome voting system.
It will make me feel fulfilled like a Nigerian because I voted for the person that I needed and they gave me the person. That was 2011. When Goodluck and Buhari, the first time. That was nice. I voted and I enjoyed that time because it was free and fair election.
Well, normally in this country, we just vote. We try our best to vote. So if you vote and it turns out negative, you try again another year.
I have voted before several times. I can't count it. So, and why we are voting is because if I'm voting for somebody, I'm voting because I want the person to lead us very well.
I'll still continue to vote because I believe one day everything will change for good. My perception concerning our election is that our vote doesn't count. So, but I felt if you continue saying that, we won't go anywhere. So I decided to go out and then cast my vote for who I voted for.
Political analyst Professor Sani Fege shared his voting experience, which he believes has been worthwhile. He spoke alongside Babatunde Olaoluwa, who is an executive member of the All Progressives Congress in Lagos State.
My first time of voting was in the Second Republic. That was 1979 when I was a graduate assistant. At that time, there wasn't much hassle in terms of voter registration. It was quite arranged, okay system. The process was smooth, and people were elated. We were well educated in terms of what was expected of us as voters. The political parties campaigned vigorously to enlighten the electorate.
Voting for the first time occurred in 1983 during the UPN days. And in those days, there was a sense of fulfillment. In fact, before the day came up, you will be yearning for it because it was a performing government. It was a government that had direction. And because it impacted positively on the people, particularly those of us who were younger ones, are still going through our education, then we wanted that government to continue in office.
Fege and Babatunde share the same opinion. Nigerians must not trivialize their civic responsibility.
The fate of the country today and in the future is in their hands because democracy has given us the opportunity to shape how things will go in terms of politics and governance.
All of us put together need to talk to ourselves. The kind of orientation that is injected into the youth these days about voting is not encouraging. And I think something needs to be done to ensure that we have every individual of voting age to vote at every election so that the government put in place will be the government of the people.
Recently, the renowned clergy Pastor Enoch Adeboye charged his congregation to ensure they all participate in the next elections as it's their right.
Before you became a Christian, you are a Nigerian. You have a duty to your country to register, to vote, to make sure that your vote will count. You have a duty to belong to any party of your choice at the very grassroots. You can't sit down, fold your hands, refuse to vote, and then begin to complain about the government.
Perhaps this is a clarion call to all Nigerians, including human rights activists, the mass media and even political parties to begin engaging the people in voter education. With many big names aspiring to lead, especially from Asuro, 2023 election may just be a game changer for eligible voters. Jacinta Obuku, PlusTV News.
Now, Nigeria has been in the grip of an intense heat wave over the past few months, as climate change experts say that there won't be a relief if necessary actions are not taken to tackle the ambience. The weather condition, which began in the month of February, has exposed many Nigerians to a number of health risks, including heat stroke. PlusTV News health correspondent Ngozi Galhejisi has more in this report.
In Nigeria, the dry season usually starts from the month of March to April every year. However, this year, there have been an extreme hot and humid weather nationwide, even in coastal areas such as Lagos. Hitting the streets, residents of Lagos complain about the unbearable heat.
Even if you have fans, nothing will work for your house. Except you use hand fan, they fan yourself, come outside. Sometimes we spend night for outside till daybreak because of the heat.
Both night and afternoon, morning, the weather is too high. Maybe this is the end of the life, so I don't know.
We are feeling the hot weather, but there is nothing we can do with it. Because NEPA no bring lights. So that is why we cannot sleep well in the night in the house.
We don't have choice because every pleasant day we buy petrol so that we can sleep better. Because if you can't see fan, the heat is too much. See on my neck like this for heat scratches because we have to buy the petrol and we run it for to the second day. So I'm not okay.
Medical and climate change experts warn against the dangers to human and natural resources. Dr. Tsunyime Bawandu, a public health expert for over 3 decades, speaks about the major risk factors of heat and preventive measures to take during this period.
The purpose of sweating is to provide a cooling system because once you sweat and the water evaporates, it cools your body. That is the purpose of the sweat. So now you have to sweat excessively. When you sweat excessively, you lose nutrients, you lose electrolytes, you lose water. So now, if water is not replaced, you become dehydrated. I mean, what it means is that the water in your body then falls down below a certain level, which becomes a problem for the body. This can have effect on the cardiovascular system, the pumping of your heart. It has effect on the kidney function, and even your mood and emotion. And then, of course, with the heat, you are prone to rashes, okay? Because, the heat rash and infection thereof can be additional problem. So you also observe that people that experience heat, they cannot actually do work as they ought to do it. They have labile mood. Their mood just swing anyhow. They get angry easily, and they are prone to rash decisions, So apart from the thing having effect on the body, it has effect on the productivity of the person and even the productivity of the country or the city as a whole. If you're not an outdoor worker, stay under shade, okay? Trees, houses, bus stops, that's where you can stay. Always take sufficient fluid, okay, along.
Philip Japo is a climate change expert. He calls on the government to take action against gas emission, bush burning, car exhaustion, and other human activities that pollute the earth.
If we move away from those things, start looking at, like I said earlier, the mass transit trains that will take people a long distance, like the government is doing, but we don't see too much commitment, like Lagos State is trying to do, but it's neither here nor there. If we have that nationally, so that I don't need to drive my car every morning or evening, and then I have to enter the train or the metro that will take not just me, but many other people, I think those little contributions added to, for instance, planting more trees, because in the city, Lagos is concrete jungle, just like Warri is, just like Port Harcourt is, just like Abuja is. Abuja is very beautiful, that's what everybody says, but Abuja, like Lagos, is a concrete jungle. There are no trees anywhere. These trees will assimilate as much, as we put into the atmosphere and then cool the atmosphere. But, this is Lagos. That's Abuja, that's Warri, Kaduna, most parts of the country. You don't have the green cover that will, ameliorate what we are passing through. When you go out there in the sun, there's no shade. So you take all the dangerous rays coming from the sun and no protection.
According to the UN Climate Science Panel, the world needs to rapidly accelerate its transition away from coal and other fossil fuels to avoid extreme climate change. However, Nigeria has pledged to reduce its greenhouse gas emission by 20% by 2030, with the condition of 45% of international support. Ngozika, OHSC, Plus TV News.
Now, several persons, including a pregnant woman and a toddler, have been reportedly burnt to death in a fire at the Bonny, Billy, and Nembe Jetty in Port Harcourt City local government area of Rivers State.
Some of the victims, who were also eyewitnesses at the jetty, said that many fiber and wooden boats were destroyed in the inferno, which started at about 2 a.m., sparked by a local boat that arrived in the city from Brass late Sunday night. Counting their losses, they said the effect of the disaster was massive due to lack of emergency services such as fire service at the jetty. They appealed to the Rivers State government to build a fire service station close to the jetty as promised to avert future occurrence.
As I just dey inside the boat, I be dey sleep. My wife just get up, just call me. As she call me, now I run go the back. I tell them, make them follow me, run go the back. They no run come, they run go the front. As they run go the front, me I jump enter inside water for the back. I no come see them again.
This thing, the way the thing, then if you check where you see the gas bottle there, where the local boats carry, it's inside the boat. So with the way this thing, they just like the way my brother talk. Now to show the local boat where they go dey. Because normally the thing no start from our flying boat. Now the local boat where the thing born around 12. Now the breeze push the boat. Come here, the thing just push out, the thing just connect. Now it catch all the whole boat.
I've lost everything. Good thing you are seeing what is happening on the jetty. You are seeing people property. You are seeing matured men being naked. That is just for property alone. No, we did not talk about souls. Souls we've lost.
The souls we don't go here this morning now, even the ones who we don't pick as they try to bring out this engine the way born, we don't pick so many. Not be the ones that will die for night where we park keep here.
This thing started around 12 o'clock in the night. We did not see fire service, nothing. It is the boys' area here that struggle to quench this fire.
Place like this, we are supposed to have something like fire service. Just because we don't have where that passenger will pass the night, that is why you see most people died inside the fire.
The acting manager, National Inward Waterways Authority in Port Harcourt, Abraham Ogu, said there is the need to sensitize the boat drivers and travelers on safety measures.
Number one, safety precautions we need to be taken. The boat is just like driving a car on the road. If your car is not in order, you don't need to put it on road. In fact, for any place like this, well, there's what we call water hydrant. Water hydrant is a place that supplies water 24/7 in case of emergency. So I have not seen any water hydrant here.
Even though the cause of the massive blaze is not known, previous fire outbreaks at the jetty had been attributed to the storage of inflammable substances like petroleum products used in powering the speedboat engines in makeshift buildings within the slum. The jetty is usually a busy transit point for thousands of residents traveling from Port Harcourt by sea to Bonny, Bilie, Nembe, and other riverine communities.
As power supply continues to get worse, Nigerians speak out in anger, and that's in Street Views. Take a listen.
I burn generator from almost on daily basis. I mean, by the time I calculate the money I spend for fuel on daily basis, I honestly tell myself the truth that this power issue is something else. It's really dealing with us Nigerians.
This thing is affecting so many companies. My daughter has a company. I know how many fuel we run every day. People that cannot afford such, they end up packing up and going to other countries. Can I say in a month we'll have like 3 times? Is that power supply? So every day I burn fuel. Every day I buy fuel 2,000 in my house. It's very ridiculous.
We are being cheated. There is no light. I live at Ikoyi. They don't give us light. Like 3 times a week, and it's about 2 to 3 hours, and it's gone. There is money in this country, but we don't know where the money is going to. No water, no light, no good roads. What can we do?
It's affecting me. It's affecting me. See me as I'm sweating. If I bath finish like this, I begin sweating. In the evening, sweating. Midnight, sweating. All my children, they are sick now. No lights, and they are still bringing the bill. Where is the money? And now, the bill is high. What are we using? Fan, television. So it's finished. I'm fit. I'm not using the oven. I'm not using washing machine. And they are bringing crazy bill for what? And no light. We are suffering from this Nigeria.
There is no light in my area. No single light. But we are paying for light, but we never see light. Sometimes, once in 2 weeks. Sometimes you will not even see it.
The Democratic Republic of Congo's Court of Cassation has accepted Vital Kamerhe's appeal and overturned his 13 years prison sentence over corruption allegations. The case is now referred to Kinshasa Gombe Court of Appeal, where new judges will be appointed. For the last 2 years, President Felix Tshisekedi's former cabinet director has been accused of the embezzlement of nearly $50 million meant for the construction of prefabricated houses for the military and police. In 2018, Kamerhe withdrew in favor of Tshisekedi at the end of the presidential campaign. According to an agreement between the two men, Kamerhe was to be a candidate in the next election scheduled for 2023. Now, thousands of residents have been evacuated in central Philippines after flash floods and landslides triggered by Tropical Storm Maggie inundated several towns and killed at least 20 people. Now, footage and images from the Philippine Coast Guard showed residents being evacuated from their homes after heavy overnight rains pummeled the eastern Visayas region, turning roads into rivers with some water levels reaching chest high. Nearly 140,000 people were affected by the storm, with about 17,000 staying at evacuation centers, according to a report by the National Disaster Agency. Now, the storm made landfall on Sunday with sustained wind speed of up to 65 kilometers per hour and gusts of up to 80 kilometers per hour. Now, Maggie has weakened and is expected to move back out overseas. Now, Ukraine officials say a grave with at least 2 civilian bodies has been found in Buzova village near Kiev, the latest of such reported discovery since the Russian withdrawal from areas north of the capital. Ludmila Zabaluk, a local official, said at least 50 civilian bodies were found within the surrounding area. In the nearby town of Borodyanka, authorities continued to dig through the rubble of destroyed apartment blocks in their search for dozens of missing residents. Moscow has rejected accusations of war crimes by Ukraine and Western countries. It has denied targeting civilians in what it calls a special operation to demilitarize and denazify its southern neighbor. Ukraine and Western nations have dismissed this as a baseless pretext for war. Of business news now. Clearing agents operating in the nation's maritime sector may withdraw their services following the reintroduction of a 15% national automotive council levy on imported used vehicles by the Nigerian Customs Service. Now, the NAC had in 2011 proposed 35% duty differentials between imported fully built unit and locally assembled cars. The proposal reportedly failed later on. Speaking on the development, the chairman of the National Council of Managing Directors of Licensed Customs Agents, Port and Terminal Multi-Purpose Limited Chapter, Abayomi Duyele, said the move could have an adverse effect on the sector. In entertainment news now, actors Johnny Depp and Amber Heard have left a Virginia court after the trial opened. Now, Hollywood star Johnny Depp sued his ex-wife Heard for $50 million over allegations that Heard made about domestic abuse. Depp insisted Heard defamed him when she penned a 2018 opinion piece in the Washington Post about being a survivor of domestic abuse. The Post never mentioned Depp by name, but his lawyers have said it was clear that Heard was referencing him and that the piece damaged his film career and reputation. In sports news now, Ifeoma Onumonu and Rasheedat Ajibade have made Nigeria proud as the Super Falcons recorded an impressive 2-2 draw against Canada in their second friendly. The draw filled in Asisat Oshoala's absence as the Super Falcons took on the 6th-ranked country in the world in the match played at the Starlight Stadium, Langford. The Nigerian side lost the first friendly 0-2 to Canada in Vancouver and aimed for a better showing in the second game. Now, the two games against Canada were a huge test for the Super Falcons as they continue to prepare for the 2022 Africa Women Cup of Nations tourney scheduled to hold in Morocco from the 2nd of July to the 23rd. And that's the news brief. For more stories, please follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And do subscribe to our YouTube channel at PlusTvAfrica and PlusTvAfrica Lifestyle. I am Justin Akadonye. Many thanks for watching.
There is no voting on social media. To vote, you would require a permanent voter's card. To get your PVC, visit cvr.inecnigeria.org. Create your account with a valid email address and start the registration process. An activation link will be sent to you. Click on the link and activate your account. Fill out the form, pick and submit a convenient date and time for your biometrics. Print the application slip, which should have your QR code. On the appointed date, go to the nearest INEC office for your biometric capturing. Thereafter, you will get a registration slip to pick your permanent voter's card when ready. Get your PVC today. This message is from PlusTvAfrica.
Nigeria's Niger Delta region, from where the black gold fuels Africa's largest economy, where the lines between wealth and poverty has never been thinner. Conflicts, poverty, insecurity, and environmental challenges daily confront the region. How can the Niger Delta story be changed for the better?
Join Mamude Akuga at 9 p.m. every Friday evening on PlusTvAfrica as he probes deep in search of solutions.
Inside the Niger Delta with Mamude Akuga, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region.
businesses in Africa can be very challenging. In Nigeria, it is particularly intimidating, and successful builders have learned how to navigate a hostile environment to unlock opportunities. But one major challenge businesses face is how to filter through the noise and identify where their ideal customers exist. Get insight and practical steps from industry players and captains of industries. Hear success stories to help you make informed decisions as you scale your business in Nigeria. Watch Business Insights at this time on Plus TV Africa.
Hello and welcome to What Are You Saying? #Ways, where we talk about topics in the news as it affects us all. I am Usayome Saleh. And today, Manny and I are rolling solo. Hi, Manny Money.
Hi, Ura.
How was the weekend?
Weekend was awesome.
You had a long weekend.
I traveled.
Yeah. How was the trip?
It was very, very good. I saw family. I saw almost everybody came. So
awesome.
Was it
supposed to be a fun? I thought it was a business trip for this woman.
No, it wasn't. It was an uncle's wife's father's burial.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. So, but it was good. It was a celebration of life. He was over. I think it was about 90 or 91. Yeah. So we celebrated.
Benin people and Edo people. Hey,
Obito level.
I've only had one in my life. That was my grandpa.
Yeah, I had my grandpa too.
And it was chaotic. So different canopy. Imagine him having, first of all, on my mom's side, they're like 9. They now has another one that had like 5 for him. So
it was massive. Yeah, this was big, but it was well organized. It was just very nice.
Well, I think it has evolved over. This was 2005.
Yes, thank you. Yes, it has.
It has evolved.
So Benin people are like Lagos.
We're not too sure. No
longer Obito level.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good. I had a fantastic weekend. My son is interning somewhere in Ogun State.
Ogun State.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he's working and he's actually having fun. So we went visiting him over the weekend. Yeah, it was fun. Until my car now decided to...
Oh my God, are you serious? See, that's the thing about road trips. I'm not a fan of road
right?
trips.
No, it's fine. It's fine. The car has tried. I just think the universe is calling a brand new
one. Receive it.
I receive it all. But it's good. It's all good. All right. So today we're having a conversation that we've been holding up for a bit on women, right? Enhancing women participation in politics. And here's what we found as today's quote. Women are the real architects of the society. This is a quote by Cher. Now, women have historically been disadvantaged in participating in politics. Africa and the rest of the world are far from achieving 50% women's representation in politics at all levels of governance. In 2021, Africa was at 24% women's representation in parliament. Lack of political will, restrictive electoral frameworks, and deeply entrenched patriarchy are some of the root causes of these low figures. At the same time, there are many instruments, laws and policies in Africa committing towards equal and effective participation of women in politics. Now, Princess Abiodun Oyefusi is here to discuss enhancing women's participation in politics and governance. But first, let's take a break to see what we found in the news.
Increase the reach of your events or business services. To advertise on Plus TV Africa, please call 0906 000 5719 or 0909 040 8408, or send an email to marketing@plustvafrica.com. Plus TV Africa. Big stories live here.
All right, you are still watching Ways. Now, as Anatole France once said, until one has loved an animal, a part of one's soul remains unawakened. The bond a human and its pet share can truly never be defined in words. Whether you are a pet lover or not, you must have witnessed the lovely relationship between people and pets. And it's more reliable and lasting than what we share with women, human rather. Now, pets are those wonderful creatures of God who never betray their owners. Thus, pets play a meaningful role in our lives. Each year on the 11th of April, it's celebrated as National Pet Day in the US. On this day, people scoop out some time from their busy schedule to pay extra attention, love, and care to all their pets. Hello, I am. Which one do you like?
I used to be a lover of dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so but when they are not trained, I don't love them. I know if my children are watching now, they will tell you I was very mean to the last dog we had. I'm so sorry, dog lovers. But I hate it when they come and then they pee all over the couch.
Because it was not properly trained?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm still training my children, my dear. I can't be training dogs too. Yeah.
It's not training them. But I had a cat.
Ew.
Lovely cat. So he comes to my ears at 5 a.m. every morning to wake me up. Comes to lick my ears. I have to wake up.
At 5 a.m.?
5 a.m.
So
every morning.
The cat is on the clock.
Yeah.
Wow.
It comes to lick my ears every 5 a.m. until my mother now decided. She knows I never miss up the opportunity to tell this story. If she's watching, she'll say, oh, wow. Decided that she had rats in her restaurant then in Kaduna. And borrowed my cat.
And he never came
So
back.
the thing is, they said that normally when you want to transport a cat to an unknown location, you must blindfold it. That if the eyes of the animal is open, that they will try to find their path back. They want to find their way back. And so my cat tell us so. She tried to get me the exact same cat with the same color, the stripe, everything. I never bonded with that one because there was just something special about the cat.
So all the
At some point, I was an orthopedic doctor.
Really?
Because the dogs in the house broke the legs of the cat. They were trying to kill the cat.
Can you imagine?
Because it used to go out in the night and it would come back late, but that day it was raining. So it wanted to jump through, to enter through the way where it normally enters back to the house.
And it broke its leg.
The cat fell, and the dogs, they've been looking for it since. So you know, dogs and cats. It's only abroad I see cats and dogs that they are not fighting.
Well,
so they actually attacked the cat.
I think the hardship in Nigeria
They broke the legs. Oh,
animals as well.
That night was like it was my child. I was crying. I took brooms. I took little bandages. I had to from my bow leg fine cat. They told my leg to
wow, you missed your calling. That's all I can say. You missed your calling.
But the cat, Kiri was amazing. I used to buy it fish and milk every day when I'm coming back from school. I must stop by one junction with my pocket money and buy fish. And I love that cat.
So maybe you should get another cat.
I don't think that bond will be there. That's why I'm not.
You never can tell.
Well, I might.
When I'm ready for the dogs, I'll get
right.
I'm just not ready.
Then I tried bunny, but somebody came to my mother's house and told her that they are
witches.
They are witches.
Yeah.
Almost before I came back, they had thrown them off the fence.
I believe so too.
And I had like beautiful bunnies, like 5 or 6. 6.
Okay, no, the bunnies, no, but the cats.
No, bunnies, not cats. I had bunnies. One woman came to my mother's house
I
and
like
said,
the bunnies. I like
this
the
the
bunnies.
evil spirits, they follow them. You know, see their eyes, they red. That's why my mama fling her through window, through the fence. I've had my fair share, so I don't do that anymore.
Nigerians are not very good.
We're not
animals. We're not animal people.
All right, enough of animals. Okay, so what did you find for us in the news?
What did I find in the news? So for me, it was okay. Nigeria reacts as suspected Russian hackers demand over 140 billion naira ransom to reopen Bet Nigeria. 140 billion. These people are not joking with figures. So suspected Russian hackers have begun to target Nigerian websites, with Bet Nigeria falling as their first victim. This is coming after the United States said it secretly removed malware from computer networks around the world in recent weeks in its bid to preempt the Russian cyber attack. So the U.S. said that the move was necessary because of the Russians' plan to attack American critical infrastructure. It said that the malware it removed enabled Russians to create botnets, networks of private computers that are infected with malicious software and controlled by the GRU, the intelligence arm of the Russian military. Bet Nigeria announced that it had become a victim of sophisticated criminal cyber attack, which is restricting their customers from having access to the platform. So they have also announced that they are working tirelessly with the IT team, independent forensics, and cybercrime experts to resolve this. They have also informed the general public that they take this matter extremely seriously and that their priority is to protect their customers and assure them that their accounts will not be compromised and all their funds are safe. So Odeyemi added that Nigerians should be worried about a likely increase in cyber attacks, as it is likely to cripple the productivity of organizations. So I think that's the scary part, you know. So this experiment that the US is conducting right now is just to catch these people. So it's going to expose all of us. So if you have websites, if you have, you know, you just have to be
careful.
Security. Just so that you don't fall victim as well, because if Bet Nigeria can fall victim,
that's a big one. No, that's a big one.
That's a big one. Yeah,
that's a big one.
That's a big one.
I hope they're 140 billion. Okay.
That's, you know, when I saw the figures, I was like, "What? This is no joke. 140 billion." So
that's scary.
That's really scary.
Okay. So my story is somebody has finally seen the light.
I like the light.
So they call him the General Superintendent of the Deeper Life Christian Ministry. Pastor William Kumuyi has explained that his ministry embraced the use of television, radio, social media, and other technological inventions for the propagation of the gospel. Now, of course, again, there was a lot of backlash after there was a video of the 80-year-old church leader that was uploaded on Facebook, right, by the Ekiti State Chapter. In that 5 minutes, 16 seconds video, he was saying that he regretted that the church was a latecomer in taking advantage of technological tools. He was now saying that, you know, in those days, when they hear about radio and they say a voice is coming out, they call it magical and that is witchcraft and all of that. He said right now, anything at the disposal of the people, right now that everything is at the disposal of the people that are doing evil. So people are using technology to commit evil, to propagate evil and all of that. So they also have to go and use technology to propagate good and the gospel.
Well, I think what I'll say to that, you know, they say whenever you wake up,
it's your morning.
That's your morning.
Right?
So, yes.
It's your morning. But you see, the thing is, I've always said it that why I actually took this story in particular.
Yeah.
He said, let me just read this part. He said the church has been asleep. When radio began some years ago, people didn't understand how voices would be coming out of radio. And so the church at that time said, no, we cannot use radio. There's something there that's magical, that is demonic. Voice coming out from just a gadget. The church said no. And then the people of the world began to use the radio and the church woke up.
Wow.
And that says, when television came, somebody somewhere performing drama, they see him on the screen and then the church said, this is evil. These are the last days. Look at them bringing pictures on the screen and whatever they are doing somewhere. And the church said, no, we are not going to use that. But later, the church woke up. And they are now using television.
Write this stone. They are going to cast out something from you. Why are you using this tone?
I had to be dramatic with it. You know, motorcycles came, car came, and when the airplane came, he even talked about airplane, how people were saying that, it's evil, this, that. But now, you know, why I'm taking this story?
Yeah.
I want to just tie it up to what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
There was a time where the woman took the back seat.
Yeah.
There was a time where the woman would sit in the background, where the woman was not supposed to be heard. She was just supposed to be seen.
Yeah.
Times have changed. And if you do not embrace that the change that has come, you will be relegated to the background.
Yes.
You'll become redundant, and things will move way ahead of you. I'm happy for them that they are waking up. I'm happy because it was so strange when I go into some homes. I used to see television. They say, no, it's evil. I was wondering, okay, so we that were watching it were all evil. So you cannot, and this is why I keep on saying that churches are still asleep when it comes to the media. And I'm still looking for the church that will wake up to understand the power behind a media outfit and run a proper media outfit that is not preaching morning till night. You are actually running.
I was going to say something, but when you added that last part, do
you understand? Because what they do with their channels or whatever, they will just be preaching from morning till night. That's not the power of the media. Yeah. If you understand how powerful the media is, that is where you should go and pitch your tent. So he's beginning to see the power behind the media, and I'm hoping that more people will see it, and they will not just stop at saying they are beginning to use gadgets. They will start to build big, gigantic media houses and fund it and run it properly. And it's not going to be church program showing. They will show different things that will change and better the lives of citizens.
Oh, but you can do that for this.
Oh, yes. I'm waiting. I'm looking for investors.
I believe in you.
Well, on that note, I just had to take that story because of what we're talking about, enhancing women in politics, right?
Yeah. People judge what they don't understand. That's the truth.
Absolutely. I mean, patriarchy is there, yes, but women are doing great things. So wake up and smell the coffee and begin to support women.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
Smell it.
All right, we'll take a break now. When we come back from the break, we'll be discussing enhancing the role of women in politics and governance. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hey, what's up, guys? You're welcome to another edition of Plus Event, and I remain your host, Ifeoluwa Oshukeye.
Your absence isn't an excuse anymore, as Plus Events is all you need, as we bring you the glitz, the glamour, and loads of fun.
Oh, definitely. No question. He's a living legend.
Oh, God forbid, Holy Ghost fire, I know.
I just want to be blown away. I want to be wild.
This is 11 years of doing it.
I'm surrounded by so much positivity.
No, it's okay.
Yo, what's up, my people? It's your boy Starboy Terry. You're watching
Plus Event on Plus TV.
Stay glued to Plus TV Africa every Saturday and Sunday, 4:30 p.m. West African time.
Thanks for staying with us. Now, according to the UN Women, from the local to the global level, women's leadership and political participation are restricted. Women are underrepresented as voters as well as in leading positions, whether in the elected offices, the civil service, the private sector, or academia. This occurs despite their proven abilities as leaders and agents of change and their right to participate equally in democratic governance. Women face several obstacles to participating in political life. Structural barriers through discriminatory laws and institutions still limit women's options to run for office. Capacity gaps means women are less likely than men to have the education, contact, and resources needed to become effective leaders. As the 2011 UN General Assembly Resolution on Women's Political Participation notes, women in every part of the world continue to be largely marginalized from the political sphere, often as a result of discriminatory laws, practices, attitudes, and gender stereotypes, low levels of education, lack of access to healthcare, and the disproportionate effect of poverty on women. Individual women have become these obstacles with great acclaim and often to the benefit of the society at large. But for women as a whole, the playing field needs to be level, opening opportunities for all, and that's why we're here. We're asking, how can we begin to enhance women participation in politics and governance? Now, please let us hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. You can also tweet at us at WaysHowAfrica1 with the hashtag WaysShow. I'll bring in our guest in a minute, but Mani, I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. Right? When you see women and you hear politics and all of that, well, how does it come to you? How do you think we are faring as women in politics?
Well, I think for me, it's sad to see that the women outnumber the men in Nigeria. The population of women outnumber the men, yet you just see just a few of them in the corridors of power. You know, we've talked about all the issues that women have when it comes to politics and even getting big roles in, you know, organizations and everything. But today, I think I want to talk about how we can defy all these obstacles. I would like us to steer the conversation in the area.
In that direction,
yeah,
yes.
in that direction, because we've seen how some great women have come and have done it. So we have, there's a lady called Louis, I think it's Atta. She's a polio survivor and first Nigerian legislative candidate. And she's doing great things. We have Ibukun Awoshika. Of course, everybody knows that she's a chairman of First Bank, and she's on several boards like Cadbury and all. Then we have Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, you know, who has gone on to be the lead
WTO.
Do you understand? Yeah. And then two-time serving Minister of Finance. So we have these women that have come. They have also had to deal with all the obstacles,
and yet they
defied all obstacles, defied all gender stereotypes, and they went on to do great things, paving the way for others to follow. So I think we should steer the conversation in that direction, so that we see that yes, we have all these things we have to deal with, but how do we go over and still achieve,
despite the barriers? How do we enhance that?
Yeah.
Awesome. Let me bring in Princess Abiodun Oyefusi. She's a PDP Lagos East senatorial candidate for 2019 rather. She is a governance partner and a company secretary with TLGP Partnership. She's a law graduate with merit and holds an MBA and is an associate of the Chartered Governance Institute of the UK and Ireland. Princess Abiodun Oyefusi is the daughter of the late Ayegburun, right, of Ikorodu. I hope I got that right. Ayegbure of Ikorodu. And she's joined us live in studio. Thank you so much, Princess.
Good evening, everyone. Nice to be here. It's an honor to be here.
We are super happy. You know, we've been chasing you forever, but finally you're here. How is the political movement going, though? She's been really busy in Abuja, running helter-skelter, because this is your time, this is your season. How has it been for you?
It's been very hectic, but it's great that we have been able to achieve quite a lot. I must give a lot of kudos to all the women NGO that came out in mass to protest the 5 bills that were rejected by NAS. Wow. And it's very encouraging when you see the ordinary women in Nigeria now taking interest in what is going on. And now understanding that they must know their right. They must, because if we don't know our right, we can't help the girl child. No. We don't know our entitlement. What do you begin to fight for? But we must educate on our women, on their rights, on what we're entitled to as women in our nation. When we begin to do all these things, women know that no matter the obstacle, no matter the main games that they play at us in politics and everywhere, we can always overcome, because you know that you know what you're entitled to. You know what the law protects you from. You know how you can fight. But if you don't have those tools, how do you begin to fight?
I was going to ask, sorry, Mani, I'll let you come in just in a minute. I wanted to can you walk us through what your journey was like in 2019 when you ran for Lagos East senatorial seat? How was that journey for you?
For me, it was, I actually tasted in 2014.
Awesome. Okay.
When I just lost my dad, and I wanted to carry on his legacy because he did so much for his own. He loved his people, and that's what he taught us, the heart of service. My uncle as well, Shifa Deni Rogosaya, was my uncle.
Okay.
So I'm from that lineage, so I wanted to go into it, and naively, I just threw myself into it, and I learned a hard lesson. It was really hard, so I just licked my wound and go away. I said I'll live to fight another day. But in 2019, I was kind of ready in a way, but I didn't know the PDP to right to the grassroots, so I wanted to learn that in order to know how to fight. But it was really tough. It was a dirty men's game. You just have to throw yourself in there, get dirty, wherever. They must see that you are up to the task. And you don't have all those women excuses, oh, I'm tired, I have to cook for my kids, or I can't go out, or I'm afraid, it's too violent. You know, they must see that you can take the fear.
You can take the heat.
You can take the heat.
I like what you said, you know. I was a banker before I came to practice full time. So there was a time I was pregnant, I think for my first child, and I was acting like what you just said, all the woman kind of thing. And then someone called me, a lady called me aside, and she said, don't ever let them see you being weak, you know, when you do all this. So now I'm going to go back to what you said when we started. You said now these women are coming out in droves. So the ordinary women. What do you mean by the ordinary women?
You see, I was so encouraged when I got to Abuja, and I saw the people that were actually in front of NAS. They were not your corporate women.
Oh, really?
They were your ordinary working class women that felt cheated and felt abused. That why is it only the women's bill, all 5 of them, that were thrown out?
Yeah.
So they couldn't understand. Even some that doesn't understand what this bill is, they were busy. The fact that it's women, and you threw it out. We no go agree. So they were busy. Anything, the word women just drove all of them out.
I like that.
And it was just encouraging. I was really moved. Because I was expected to get there and see legislator, you know, your corporate people, you're working. And I saw market women, working women, everybody in the street, just carrying that placard and marching from 8 to 5. It's amazing.
Well, is that enough though, right? Because we're talking enhancing women's participation in politics and governance. Is that enough for us to just keep on? Because almost all the time, money. Every time there's a big issue, you see women, it's either we are going braless to go and stand on the street.
I don't think we do that. We don't.
Some people do that. You know, no, we do that in Nigeria. We've done. I think some people do that. Yeah. You know, so either you are going braless to go and stand in front of the street, or women will come out. You know, but it's always all the time a protest. Women are revolting. Is that enough? Right, to push more women to go out for political positions and seats of governance. Is that enough?
Never, it's not. Right now, where we are right now, is not. Because the institution is already built against women. The system is already built against women. The culture is already built against women. The religion is already built against women. So we're fighting at all fronts. And tough. It is tough. If you need that level playing field, I do not see how we can achieve it without affirmative action, which is why it was very important for us to make sure that the 35% that Nigerians signed up to at the UN gender policy, 35%, they implemented. It's an international UN law. Nigeria is part of UN. They're supposed to bring that law back to Nigeria, make it a domestic law. We also have the one for African Protocol on women's right. Nigeria is number 3 on the signatory.
And yet we don't see that being translated into the actual
law, into the domestic laws of Nigeria. This was in 2004, as early as that. And it says some things. You need to see this protocol. Right to dignity. Right to life, security, right to equality in marriage, protection from harmful practices like domestic violence. But we have all these laws, And I can tell you, the Afro-Nigerian women does not know it. They don't know it. But if we don't educate the minds and the heart of Nigerian women to know these things, there is no way that we can help the girl child. There's no way we can develop.
Okay, so what you're trying to say, you're talking about politeracy, teaching them. At what levels do we start to educate you talked about the girl child. So at what level do we start educating the women or the girls about politics and their involvement in politics?
I think we owe it to our secondary school girls.
I think so too.
To start to, we have to, you see, because of what we're trying to achieve. Look at the first black Supreme Court judge that was appointed by Joe Biden.
Yeah.
234 years it took them to get there.
It's crazy.
We don't have another 240
to give.
All these laws were made for us so that we can build on top of it, not to start from scratch all over again. So we have to incorporate this, even the ones that is just Africa. Let's leave to UN. The one that we agree to in our Africa thing. Let's incorporate it into our curriculum.
But let me ask you a question.
Teach our girls.
Looking at this 2023, because it's upon us, the elections that are coming up, do you see political parties, right, political structures, do you see them actually pay? Because I know that in some political parties, I mean, I read a story, very interesting story, was my What's in the News on Friday, where the ADC party had talked about giving free forms to women.
Yeah, like that.
Women and people that are disabled, right? Because they were trying to, as much as possible,
encourage them.
So they are looking for 300 people that would go for the legislative positions, and they want to sponsor them fully. So they're not paying, it's going to be free forms and all of that. So do you see political parties actually, so even if we say, okay, we're not doing stuff, even just to buy the buying of the citizens, to say, okay, well, this political party is woman friendly and all of that, do you see that happening currently now with the people that are coming out to say they want to go for political offices in Nigeria?
Yes, there are parties already doing it. Take, for example, PDP. It's within the constitution. The PDP constitution, they must give 35% of the positions to women.
So it's a must?
Once you put something in your party constitution, it becomes your bread, your Bible. That is what you operate by. So if you set up committee, if you're appointing people in your national executive committee, 35% of them must be women. PDP has it. And I want to believe APC has it as well. And PDP and APC, they've both given the nomination form for free. So you just pray for the expression form. For example, if you're going for House of Representative, in PDP, the form is for the men, the form is 2.5 million. 2 million is for the nomination, and 500,000 is for the expression. So what they've asked women to pay is just the 500,000. It's one thing to buy a form. It's another thing to have money to run for election. And it's another thing to be able to have that your polling unit agent, your canvasser, your returning officers. You know, there's a lot of bandwagons behind, a lot of people behind winning an election. Winning an election. So it costs money. And you are dealing with the boys' club. If you go in there to beg for money, you know the way they look at Nigeria. You got that expression, so you have to prove yourself, double the effort of a man.
I like that.
Double the effort of a man. You can't go to a boys' club and say, please, I need 20-something million.
No.
What are you offering? What you have to give? Yeah.
Who are you? What are you?
What's your pedigree? What's your influence? How much impact can you know?
But the men are allowed to have godfathers.
Yeah, they're not allowed to godfathers.
Because they take the god out and they put something else. That's what they do.
That is absolutely true. We suffer, and if you get up and you say, no, I'm going to do it my way, I'm going to do it with a lot of dignity, I'm going to knock on every door, then you become a B-I-T-H-C-H.
Yeah, sure.
Aggressive. Every language that they give to a woman, that you wondered why. And they throw it at you because you stand on principles and integrity and refuse to play the game the way that they play the game.
Absolutely.
But the doors that you knock, that a man will knock once and it will yank open, you know, the best, let's go drink a beer, what are you talking about? Go tonight. You have to knock it like 10 times before they even.
So I like what you just said now. We have to knock it like 10 times. So, because that was the first thing Manny asked when she said she would like us to steer the conversation as to what we need to, how we need to do. So maybe that's what we'll start up when we come back from the break. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
It is engagement we need to have.
Those who suffer miscarriages are never taken into account.
Members of the National Assembly are also influence peddlers.
You are sitting on Nigerians' money.
From the Babin, I pay my rent. From the Babin, I send my children to school.
A consultative engagement.
No any tangible notification before they ban us.
It's one thing for people to be at your back and the heat of the moment, and another thing for them to still be with you when push comes to shove.
I will do everything to take Lagos out of the national grid.
This is it for upcoming artists to blow in Nigeria.
Welcome to Plus Trending. I am Bookie November, your host, saying thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Welcome back. It's tea time on Plus TV Africa.
Practice makes perfect. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm a lot better than I used to be.
He's a king. He's entitled to marry 100 if he wants to.
All right, thanks for staying with us. Now, if you just tuned in, we are having a day. We're discussing enhancing women participation in politics, and we're having an amazing chat with Princess Abiodun Oyefosi. Please let us share what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. You can also tweet at us at Wayshow Africa 1 with the hashtag Wayshow. All right, so before we went on the break, you talked about, you know, a woman having to knock a door 10 times when a man just needs to knock once. Mm-hmm. And Manny had mentioned that she would really love for this conversation, which is what I want. I want a solution. I want a way forward, right? Mm-hmm. How do we, as women, position ourselves, right? How do we ensure that, you know what, we are doing the right things? What kind of expectations are we supposed to tick those boxes we're supposed to tick? When you say you want to go into politics, let us, so that we just know that if you are not prepared, just stay behind and wait till you are ready. Yes. Then you now take up the challenge. But what are the things we should be looking out for?
For us, the first thing that we wanted to achieve was to achieve a base, which was that 35% affirmative action. Yeah. If you give 35% to women, you know that this position cannot be given to a man. So it's now up to the women group to bring forward
the best candidate.
Best candidate. It makes the journey 50% lighter. Without having to complete. Do you know what it takes to complete for primaries? You have delegates. They're called delegate. And that's money.
Okay.
That is money. Yeah. This is the, let's not kid ourselves. Nigerian politics is about money. Yeah. You buy everything from your forms to people that will vote for you.
So the people that are dancing for you.
Dancing for you.
You pay them.
You pay everything. So getting through the obstacle of the primary, which costs a lot. Sometimes it costs almost 70% of your election money, getting through that primaries within the party.
Yeah,
my God.
That's true.
But you know what? So I heard this like whispers that a certain candidate that is female, it's possible that the tickets might not, be given to her because the other party. So even though there's a 35% that, okay, say we must meet up a 35% quota for this thing. If your party decides to give you the ticket and the other contestant or in another party and is a strong opponent is a male, that there's every likelihood that they might either they will give it to they match it up strength for strength in terms of their political strength, right? Why do they always consider that? First of all, two questions I'd like to ask. Why do they always consider women politicians as weaker politicians than male politicians? That's one question. Then the second question, do you see that happening, or should we now have like a consensus where we say, okay, you know what, for this particular, well, that's not going to even be possible, the question I'm asking, but is it even possible for us to go a consensus across all political parties to say, you know what, these particular positions, let's just reserve them for women? Is it possible? Maybe not.
If I answer the second one first,
yes.
I think what you will find is that where, for example, you zone a position, take like in a state, there is 3 senatorial districts.
Yes.
The West, for Lagos, for example, there's the West, the East, and the Central. One of it must be a woman. If we're going by PDP party constitution, one of it must be a woman. Okay. And even APC keep giving one of it to woman, like Tinubu.
Remi Tinubu, yes.
Yeah, she's been one that's been given Central all this while. And I got 2019. So where it doesn't make you a weaker candidate when facing an opponent. It doesn't. It depends on how you sell yourself, and how you sell. You see, if we are 51% of the population, and yet we own 3% of the position. How does that math work? If I can get every woman, I don't even need the male folk. If women stands up and vote for women.
But that's true, because we're actually more in population.
51%.
Sure.
If male folk stand up, if women folk stand up and support women, we will not have.
But Princess Oyesiri, is this not the error? Okay. Sorry, Mani, come in.
Yeah, let me come in. You know, what you just said, if we have only the women, then we are good to go, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now that brings me to my next question. What do you think about political mentoring? Because if we have these trainings for women to come in and learn about different skill sets, you know, different types of training, how to conduct themselves, decorum, different things, you know, but these trainings have to be given to these other women by those who have gone, seen, conquered. What do you think about it? Do you think they are giving it? Do you think these women that are coming out for political offices, do you think they have enough training to actually go for the positions they're going for?
You see, my father taught me something. He used to ring it in our head when we were young. He always, and he's used it on great movies as well. He always says, with great power comes great responsibility. And I'm sorry, the women that have gone before us, they have not taken that.
Thank you.
It breaks my heart. When Jonathan's era, we had about 18 or something women in Senate.
Okay, in the Senate.
Now in this current Senate, we only have 7 out of 109.
Wow.
7. See the numbers of people in the House of Rep. We only have 15 women.
So what happened?
What happened?
Why the drop?
Why the drop? That is
out of 300 or something.
So what happened to all these women that you mentioned earlier on? Ngozi Iweala. How many people did they mentor? How many people did they bring up?
Which is so important. So it means that this whole women rivalry thing, it's actually more dangerous than even the men.
So I was going to even say something. Dangerous. Because when you said that you don't need the male folks, I beg to disagree.
Because the women will disappoint
you. Get my point?
They will make sure they don't vote for you.
I beg to disagree, because you know what? If a man sees a woman on a mission and he knows she is capable, he will vote for her.
True.
So I even don't want us to promote this narrative that it has to be a woman that will, if we must support each other, because women don't support each other. We are our biggest enemies.
You're absolutely right. But the biggest number of gender voters that comes out to vote are women.
But guess what? The fact that they know you can even do the job will make them not vote for you. Because there's this thing going on inside them. So, you know, women are always competing. So it's like, oh, where did you come from? How did you think you can do this thing? Because they can't do it. So I think that, yes, the women need to mentor more. Because there are a lot of women that are coming up, they don't even know how to act. They are looking for political positions that they can't carry because they're not even well behaved. Character-wise, they're zero. So they need political mentorship, you know. So I think we should try to push that more. So if we talk about politeracy, we have to talk about political mentorship.
I said to some of the senators that I met with, and I asked, you're a senator in your state. How many women did you put in the House of Rep? How many women did you put in the Assembly? It is your responsibility. How many women did you buy form for? It is your responsibility. You are in House of Rep. How many women did you put in the local government? You are an House of Rep of a local government. House of Rep is not the state. It's an area. It's a local government. That's one rep for your local government. You, as a woman, was appointed House of Rep. How many women did you ensure got into the assembly in that state?
House of Assembly.
How many women did you ensure got into local government offices in that state? Then you can say, I have been a responsible leader.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, what good seed produce after seed, you
so what would have happened would have been 18 women in the Senate. It should have multiplied or increased. I would even stay the same. Not taking a complete nose. That's failure on the woman's part. That's why it means that all the women that were senators then, they failed us.
They go in and they shut the door.
And they shut the door behind them. Oh, wow.
So we're all at fault. Because if we play this game with ourselves, that's all the men need. And they're good to go.
That's it.
That's all the men need. They're good to go.
So I think we need to encourage women.
We need to encourage
women. We need
women.
to do more for ourselves. We need to encourage ourselves.
The first thing we need
There's
to
no
do...
beefing. We can actually rule the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
The first thing we need to do, we need to forget that, leave the personality aside. Leave your pettiness aside. This agenda is bigger than me and you.
Yeah.
It is the future of that girl child in Nigeria.
Yeah.
If we cannot give this girl child any hope, then we as a women generation, we have failed. Because I am living here, I've never seen a Nigerian president, a women president, not even a VP.
Yeah.
I've never seen a woman governor that won a democratic election, not someone that they remove and stepped in.
Yeah.
But never seen one. I've never seen a national party, the main party, APC, PDP, they've never appointed a woman as a leader. Not one. It's that bad. So if I cannot change the narrative for my generation and leave a better foundation for the
younger ones,
to me, I've achieved nothing in the field that I said I'm specialized.
Yeah, true.
The bankers are achieving more than we politicians because they're going there to become the CEOs of banks.
So are you going to start a woman mentorship?
We already started.
Let me take a comment. Good evening, my dear beautiful sisters of What Are You Saying Ways. Concerning the enhancing of women's participation in politics and governance, the women have to make themselves available for positions in office. Like my dear beautiful sister Emanuela mentioned, the likes of Ibuku Awoshika, Ugozi, Okonjo-Iweala, these are great women that occupied great positions in office and they delivered and became effective. Women should be given the chance to be in politics and govern. Furthermore, women should not be intimidated and allowed to be relegated to the background. Nigeria has never had a woman president. I bet you, and trust me, if a woman is made president of Nigeria, I am sure that this country will be totally changed and transformed. It is not only men that can deliver. I rest my case for now. My name is Daniel Ilo, your always regular fan. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you for resting your case. That was a long casing. I was going to say that, okay, there's a woman coming out for presidency because it brings me back to the question I'd mentioned, right? How really prepared are women? When they say they are coming out, are they just coming out to say, okay, I want to make noise so that last, they give me an appointment? Or they are really, really ready for running in governance? Because somebody will kill me for this, but there was a female presidential candidate and from the reports that we heard was that it was just only one vote. Even your house member,
They did not vote for you. Your family members.
Your family members did not vote for you. So that means you were. I mean, I don't think like who are now. I can bully some people to vote for me, but I cannot just go out and I just have one vote, right? So how prepared are women? Because sometimes when I see women coming up for political positions, like elective positions, not appointments, I just feel like this person is not ready. Because like you rightly said, you must do the dogged work. You must run into that mud. You must get dirty. You must do the work. But women, it just seems like, okay, I'm just here to make noise, so that look pretty, so that last they will know that I'm here. Then I would end up settling for an appointment. Is that always the case, or truly women are ready to take on political positions?
Maybe previously it has always been the case. I don't know. But when I ran in 2019, I didn't run with that intention. And I won from PDP votes they have never seen in Lagos East. In fact, I actually beat the late Oshinowo. May he so rest in peace.
Oshinowo, wow.
Yeah, I contested against him. I was the one that contested against him. And I mean, he was given the result, but like whatever the Lord declares the result. So I got the most number PDP ever had in Lagos East. I went into the market. I went onto the street. It was showing on videos. It was showing on YouTube. You can, if you still Google, you can see this. I went to the market. I spoke to the market women. I spoke their language to them. That's when I realized that what you people were saying were the mindset that these women are. They're not serious. They can't deliver nothing. They just make noise makers. They're just prostitute. They just people they put there. You know, they have that perception. They've really created this image for the Nigerian political woman that if you're not strong and you're not principled, you will break you. Yeah, but when they saw me there going to the news and corner, they realized that now Nigerian women are changing. But I think in 2023 we are ready. If we are given the right, that's why we wanted that 35% to give us that base. Then the next stage is actually going out there and actually campaigning. You must be willing to do the late night. You cannot say you're going home at 8. When is that 8 o'clock? They're doing the meeting of why they will share.
So if you are not ready already, if your home is not ready, don't come out.
Don't come
out. If your children are still growing, don't come out. So I think
you must be able to go into the midst of. I went into the worst places in Shomolu. They were saying don't go. When I was driving my car back to Ikorodu they actually shot at my windscreen. They shot my windscreen. And funny enough, I went in the escort car and left the jeep for them because they were late. And I had a very important meeting at 12 o'clock in the night. So I just left at 11 and so they were bringing my jeep. They thought
they knew you were a strong opponent.
So I had bullets.
Women, are we ready to receive the bullets? Oh my God. We have to be ready to receive all the bullets. Wow.
So it's things like that. So we must let them know that if we have to do this fight so that it's easier for the next in 20.
How can we even clean up politics, man?
If we don't fight it,
because you remember the statement of the president when he was interviewed, when they asked him who was his presidential candidate. He said, "Let them not go and kill him." It means that this shooting of the thing is a normal thing.
Right?
I mean, why do we have to do that? That's to tell you that these people are scared. Yeah. And that's why, for me, I want to say that if you are not prepared, don't bother to come out. You understand? Because if you are prepared, trust me, they will know that somebody is prepared.
I don't think that anybody is really prepared to die.
No, I'm not talking about dying. No. I'm not saying if you are prepared to die. I'm saying if you're not prepared politically, meaning that you have not done the work, the grassroots work she's talking about.
You don't know that they're going to shoot at you.
No. Forget the shooting, Manny.
We can't forget the shooting.
Manny, leave the shooting. What I am saying is that if you see, the reason they will shoot at her is because she had done she had done the homework. She had a very strong chance of winning the elections and emerging the senatorial candidate. That's the point.
So for me, I feel like it shouldn't be a do or die affair. If you win, fine. If you don't win, go home and try tomorrow. You know, so why do they think they need to kill somebody to get to that position? I don't know. So, and this, well, I don't know.
Help us with that.
I think it's more intimidation than killing. I don't know about the the worst extreme hand. I did not witness the extreme hand. But you know, they tell you have this area boys, you have this place you cannot go, you have that place. And I wanted to win. So I was prepared to go everywhere. So it's where they tell me I could not go that I was ready to just go with that. Okay, let me even go and talk to them. I'm coming from a position of no. I cannot go any further. But I can always go to a yes. So that's the approach that I took.
But after the gunshots, did you continue to
I
go?
continue.
I said she had the meeting at 12 midnight. Did you not hear what she said?
I continued because you must show them. If they see that you're willing to do the work,
and they'll be ready for you.
Then you gain the respect.
True.
Yeah.
You gain
so
the
you
respect.
have earned that respect.
Yeah. You gain that respect. And they know that you're a woman of your word. If they say, okay, there's this discussion, we have this meeting at 11, you cannot give, they know you will be there because they now see you as a leader. They now see you as a leader and that's what I try to do. And I tried to, in the latest Congress, they were like discussing. I said, Princess, what's your position? I just opened. Why all the women that came out in the local government, I was just slotting them into Congress. Women. Okay. I didn't know them from, I was just slotting them. I said, we must give women. Because if we don't give women, we can achieve nothing.
Sorry, one last question for me. What are the political parties doing to identify potential female candidates? You know, we just talked about some people not being ready. So how do we know? What are the political parties doing to identify the ones that are ready?
You see, this is where I fought women. Because like you said earlier on, women must come out. Political parties can't force you out. They know the potential women's within the local structure. Each local ward or local government knows these women. Yeah, because they've come out and they've been working in the party. But if they say assembly, if women don't come out and get the form, now that the form is minimal, although ideally it would have been lovely if it was free for women and they now have to just worry about raising the form, they can't force women out.
Yeah.
And even the ones that came out, I keep saying it, and I will keep saying it. Please, Nigerian women, vote for these women. Ejo, abẹ́yìn nítorí Ọlọ́run. Where you see a woman competing with a man,
vote for the woman.
Just because she's a woman.
Just vote for her first. We will teach her later. We will teach her. Vote she will get on board. Just vote first.
If we had enough women in NAS, the laws that protect women from domestic violence.
I mean, look at the late Osinachi, sad domestic violence.
This is what I'm saying about we women don't know. Do you know you have equal right in a marriage as a man, in separation, in divorce? It was signed by Nigeria. It's not in the African protocol. Do you know you have protection from harmful practices in marriage?
That's why we need to educate the girl child.
We need to educate the child. I keep saying we need to put these laws into a pamphlet and start distributing it to the homes.
So people will see and know.
And all these cultural barriers that that teaches us that a man is the head of the family. So if they beat you and kill you there, you see your head that is beating. No.
You have to stop all of that.
You have to stop all of that. That is why I started with that. The law has been created. It's now for Nigerians to adopt it into local law. And it's now for we women to make sure Nigerians adopt it, which was what was brilliant when we went to court and won the 35%.
Absolutely.
It was brilliant.
So this is cheers to all the women. Thank you so much.
Nigerian women for
So we are going to be watching out for you because we know you're doing a lot for women. We're going to be watching out for you and we're hoping that you just let us know where you want us to support you. We are here. No, I know Sabi politics, but I Sabi talk.
We need you. You see, if we follow you, please invite women into your program.
Yeah, that's why we do that. We are doing that. Every woman that is intending to go into politics, it is free.
Yes.
Thank you
encourage
so much,
them and give them a big hug, and they know, even if you don't give them any money, they know that you are always
here 100%. Thank you so much, man. You had a fantastic conversation. Now, before we go, make sure if you're a woman out there, this coming 2023 election, as you just see woman, just they put on print. Don't ask questions. Let's vote our own first. Later we discuss how to strategy. All right, so Make sure you follow us on Instagram at Wayshow Africa. You can interact with us further, drop a comment, and more importantly, follow all our engagements on social media. Like, share, and invite your families and friends to watch and follow the conversation. Now, if you missed today's quote, here it is again. Women are the real architects of the society. If you want to rebuild Nigeria, support women. Support women, support women. We can't say this enough. We'll see you guys live tomorrow at 8 p.m. as we bring another great conversation to your screen. Enjoy.
Bye-bye.
And
Look,
all of them,
all
of them in Lagos,
let me
all
tell
of
you,
them in Nigeria.
listen to me.
Nobody.
When I'm talking, you keep quiet.
An arrogant customer who is not ashamed.
Pastor Donald, why are you not picking my calls? Why haven't you paid the balance up till now? Telling the honorable that I have not been calling him, I've not been picking his call. It's a fabricated fallacy. He did this just to debase me.
You are owing, and you are the one that is being arrogant at the same time.
A Nollywood veteran hoped to diversify into marine transportation.
Passenger boat I did not see. My money I did not see. I wanted to report him to Amadioha.
He was testing the boats. One thing, the boat sink with engine.
The husband does not like the responsibilities, but he likes all the pleasures a woman has to offer.
I still dey live now. First, live person one pikin.
How you go control?
The dispute is real, and the judgment is binding. This is the Justice Court. A wife that was abandoned with 3 children.
My name is Mrs. Chinyere Nwogu. So I came here last year, June. I'm with the case with my landlord. So during that time, in fact, things was not easy at all until I came to Justice Court. I am the defendant. First of all, I want to thank you people very, very well, because you people did well to me. I don't know how to express my feelings. I don't know, but I thank God today. So everything went fine. I've gotten a house. I got a house through you people that helped me. Although things are not still easy like that, because I need to start up business. But at least I'm happy. At least during that time, some of you that saw me that time will know that there is a lot of changes. But today, you can see me laughing. I am much happy. Thank you very much. Yes, I can see that Justice Court is different from other courts. Because if I hear about court, it remains for me to run away. But when I came to this place, I find it so easy that Justice Court is very different. Yeah, this is a place that someone can come and make peace. Even though if somebody asks you that one thing or one thing. You yourself can use your mouth and tell the person that let you people go to court, because the court is a place that they will make peace, and after making peace, you people can be related again. Like me and my landlord, that is more than friends now. We used to eat together, agree together. He used to advise me, and myself used to advise him. So I assure other people that it can happen to their life like that. So the court is a very place that you will come and make peace. They are too much, Justice Court. You people are too much.
Today on the Justice Court, the plaintiff, Iwelu Augustine, is asking the court to compel his tenant, Obiora Sylvester, to pay the sum of 339,750 naira overdue rent and vacate his apartment. Previously on the Justice Court,
Mr. Sylvester has been my tenant for about 3 months now, and he has refused to pay my rent as at when due. Each time I complain, I meet him for my rent. Is that he tells me the economy is hard, he has businesses, he has school fees to pay, all this and all that.
When his mother was alive, his mother was a very good member of our church, this particular church now. We took her as a mother. As a matter of fact, she was the one I discussed.
You know, you are not here to talk about. I'm not here to listen to his family history. Wait. You are in court.
Yes, ma'am.
Be very, very, very cautious of whatever you say. The reason why you are in court, you know what it's about.
Okay, ma'am.
And that's what I want you to strictly address.
Okay, ma'am.
When was the last time you paid rent?
Well, that was last year. This last year, I supposed to have balanced him about 50-something thousand.
Okay, you've paid part of it, but you've not completed payment.
About 50-something thousand.
Is that correct?
Not true, ma'am.
What's the position? What's your own position on it?
He pays me as at when due, sometimes 10,000, 50, 20 and all that. So I can't really say he paid a complete year.
And another thing, you can't tell me that everything on that list is false. Are you saying everything there is false?
My lord, I have my reasons. I presently cannot remember to vet everything he wrote since they are not receipted. June last year, to be precise, we sat together and he brought everything, all the money he claimed, and we balanced it. That's how we got the 339,000, which I initially was claiming 450,000. And I said, if you are claiming if you're claiming you owe me 339,000 naira, it's 339,750. Pay that and I'll let the matter close. I agreed. That's what he brought. I didn't debate that with him. So I'm surprised he's saying 50,000. And to prove it, I had a screenshot of where he wrote it. It's
Let
here.
me have a look at it then. You see the power of evidence?
Please, show my lord. And the date why I can check it. That's a screenshot of his own calculation, my lord. I was claiming 450, because that is exactly what he's owing me. But he reduced it to 339,750. And since that day, he has not paid me 1 naira till today.
Have a look at it.
Have you seen that paper before, Mr. Sylvester? At least you're a Christian.
Look at it.
If you have not seen it, tell my lord I'm lying.
You are a Christian. Look at it and tell me the truth.
The defendant, Obiora Sylvester, claims he made several unreceipted payments to Augustine that were not accounted for. Unfortunately, Sylvester does not have proofs for the total sum that he claims to have paid. However, he insisted that 56,000 naira is all he owes at this time. The landlord, Iwelu Augustine, has shown an evidence of account reconciliation that substantiates the fact that the tenant had consented to 339,750 overdue rent. This matter is unfolding as Judge Fumi continues to cross-examine both parties.
You see, You see what I'm telling you? When you come to court, you need to be able to prove everything you say. And you were very quick at casting aspersion at his character. You see, Christianity is not about putting on this apron you have on. It's not. Christianity is about the way you relate with the next person, your heart. Do you understand? I agree with you. You could make that mistake of not having documented every payment you made to him. He did not deny that. But that's why you are having that problem in reconciling the exact amount before me until he was able to bring out this. It's there. 339.
One more thing, my lord. I don't feel comfortable him staying there again. Because he threatened me.
You need to serve him.
I already served him, my lord.
Let me have the copies of him. Show it to him first, whether you're saying.
He already has a copy, my lord.
He should serve me 6 months as yearly tenant, not 7 days.
Let me have his card. Bring it.
He should serve me 6 months first, before 7 days. That's craftiness.
Okay.
You don't
Okay, now, as at the time this was served, your tenancy has expired. So I need to explain the new law of tenancy law in Lagos State to you. You see, before 2011, if you have a tenant in the house and you want to serve them notice to quit, excluding Banana Island, Ikoyi, Apapa, VI, but with every other area, before, when they serve you that 6-month notice, it must expire at the anniversary of the new tenancy. If your tenancy is to expire today and you want it to start tomorrow, that 6 months, when you calculate it, must end today, which is the anniversary of the new tenancy. Do you understand me? That's the law before. But the way the law is right now, as long as your tenancy has expired, if I don't intend to renew your tenancy as a tenant, I can issue that 3 months notice, but it must not expire while your tenancy is still on. Because you are still a tenant there. But when your tenancy has expired in this case, do you know, the money you paid had expired. He's only required to give you 7 days notice, which is what he has done. So I don't know which lawyer you've been talking to, or you are your own lawyer. But I'm explaining the law to you.
Okay. Your Honor, my tenant has not expired. It expires by March ending.
Which March ending? This March ending? Yeah. With money you have accepted that you are owing. You don't know you are only a bona fide tenant when you are not owing rent.
It's because I didn't come with evidence. You
accepted you are owing 56,000 naira.
I was dealing with him as a brother.
But you said, no, forget the 339. I'm even going to roll right now that, and I presume that is even 56,000 naira. Even with that 56,000 naira that you have accepted you are owing, it simply shows that your tenancy has since expired. Because you have not paid up. Once it's determined, that's the language. Once the tenancy is determined, that is expired, give you 7 days. It's because of the way tenants take it for granted, thinking that they can stay in landlord's house forever.
Mm-hmm. You told me.
And they start playing on the technicalities of the law. That's why the law was reviewed. That's the new, I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about tenants generally. So that is the law right now. As far as it's concerned, he has done the right thing. It's 7 days. If you are not owing, you have paid up, and your rent is supposed to expire in March, you are entitled to that 6 months. Then, because you have been paying in bits, you are not even entitled to the 6 months notice.
Your Honor,
Okay.
I really made mistake by the way I trusted him, because in the first place I told him that he played 419 on me, because the house he's a witness. The work I did, if not that work, the house would have collapsed by now.
1 minute.
He's a living proof.
Can I say something, ma? Ma, to be frank, I gave him money for renovation. He didn't pay his rent complete. His agreement, we agreed that he won't pay agreement to me, that what he used to do to renovate. I don't want you to lie, but I know this is Ed. He's telling too much lie on me. 1. And number 2, the WC in his house, my WC, he broke it. When I accosted him of it, he told me that I did robbery. I should just get out from there. You know, he intimidates and tries to bully me. That's even the reason why I couldn't take him to court all this while. I said it when I started, that he said if I bring him to court, he will take 6 months, 3 months, and at the end I'll get tired. That's what he told me.
Austin, God in heaven.
You know what? The issue,
God will judge you.
Mr. Sylvester, you can't curse anybody in this court. Let me tell you, Mr. Sylvester, watch your language here. Because I can charge you for contempt of court.
I'm sorry, ma.
You are not in the marketplace.
I'm sorry, ma.
And with that thing on you, that apron, I expect the kind of things, utterances you will have will be godly. You are cursing.
I'm sorry, ma.
Is that what that uniform is for? The apron is for cursing.
I'm sorry, ma, but you don't know him.
You are just disgracing, you are disgracing your church members.
Order!
So, anyway, the way it is now, I'll still come back to the issue of rent. But now we're talking about eviction because he has served you.
Your Honor, ma. Let him give me like 5 months. Let me find that place.
Look at his reaction. I don't even have to talk. Look at him.
We eat in the same plate. You now turn things down, and I turn everything against me because
you threaten me.
From where?
Yes.
You
told me an
house
Anambra
day and
man.
night.
That you show me that you're an Anambra man. I don't know what that means.
Austin, you can't.
Mr. Sylvester, I won't give you 5 months. Don't waste my time. Please.
All the money you collected from me, you denied all of them because I didn't write them down. Now I'm not.
You are begging somebody to extend your time to you. You are still saying all this.
Sorry.
You really have wisdom.
Sorry, ma. Sorry, ma. I'm sorry. You called my house your second house home before. Why do you?
Order!
Why are you doing like this?
Mr. Sylvester,
5 months.
5 months is too much.
What's the maximum period you think you can give him? I want you to... Anyway, let me hear what you have to say.
I'm going to assist him with 3 months.
And remember, there's still another issue to address on the period he's giving you. Whether it's rent-free or you are paying rent for that period. So when you're asking for a period of time to leave the house, have that at the back of your mind too.
Your Honor, ma. Let's make it 4. I'm pleading. Let's make it 4 months because he knows.
You said 3, or will you give him 4?
No, ma.
He didn't accept. He shook his head immediately you said so.
Wilson, I am pleading with you to make it that 4 months. I know why I maintain that 4 months. I never had intention of this kind of matter with you. But since he has come up now, let's take it like that. Take it that 4 months. I and you, yourself.
Mr. Sylvester, I can allow.
I'm still talking.
I don't want to go long. I would have allowed the 4 months.
I'm still talking now, please.
No, let me tell you why, so I don't waste.
Let me finish what I'm saying. You can talk. It's only I and myself knows what all that we did together. This court does not know that. I don't want to be returning back what they say, what has passed. But you knows what I'm talking about. There's no two difference between 3 and 4. Even if it may even restart that time. I didn't see much difference between 3 and 4. I'm not even praying that it will be up to that at that time. But you understand me very well.
Are you good? Mr. Sylvester, I could have left 4 months, but by June, my rent where I stay will expire. And my plan is to collect this one to pay where I am staying now. That is the reason. I would have asked you to stay 5 months, but I don't like owing my landlord. I told you, he doesn't joke with money. I'm sure you'll be watching this way by one day. He doesn't play with money. If I ask you to stay 6 months, I'll be owing him, and I have a problem with him. That's why I calculated that 3 months. Because by June, my rent will expire. You understand? I can say 5 months, you know me. But my hands are tied. My hands are tied.
What I'm saying, asking is that there's no two difference between 3 and 4. But I won't. I still maintain that.
It's okay, do the 4 months.
It's only.
Let me owe him for 1 month. Do the 4 months, let me owe him. It's okay.
Thank
you. Do the 4 months, so you'll be good.
Okay, so.
Let him do the 4 months.
You've agreed on 4 months.
Just do it.
Then can you give him the 4 months rent-free?
Rent-free. I will do that, man, if he pays me what he's owing me. 339,750.
You see, we have to be practical. You're entitled to your money for now. So when can you raise the money?
Which the 56,000?
He's asking, okay, 56, when do you want to pay up the 56,000?
Okay, ma. I'll give him in less than 2 weeks.
In less than 2 weeks? I'll even give you up to 2 weeks. Is that okay?
It's okay,
so we make it 2 weeks. Now, how much is the total sum you are claiming?
339,750 naira now.
339. Let's take it 339. If you deduct 56 from 339, what's the balance?
283,000.
There will be 283,000 naira left. Okay, so, Mr. Sylvester.
No.
You cannot prove to the court that you are not in 283,000. But, however, you accepted to be owing some of money. His claim, he has a proof for the sum of 283,000 naira that you have not paid. But I've deducted the 56,000 naira from the total sum initially. Then the balance of 283,000 naira.
Judge Fumi helps both parties to reach amicable settlement. After the break, Judge Fumi rules.
You have to pay him 133,000 naira. Apart from the 56,000 you are paying in 2 weeks' time. You pay him 133,000 naira by the time you move out of the premises. Do you understand? Ordinarily, my judgment against you should be for 283,000 naira. But the court will step in to assist you to offset part of the money. Because I know you still have to look for money to get in new premises. Is that not so?
Yes, ma'am.
So the court will assist you to pay him 150,000 naira. You'll pay him 56,000 naira within the next 2 weeks. Then, within the next 4 months, make sure you pay him the balance of 133,000 naira. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Then I'll give you an advice. Based on the kind of relationship you've had in the past, you shouldn't have allowed this matter to degenerate to this level. Even when you wanted 4 months, he gave you 4 months free. So if you approach him, do you understand? There's a way you probably could have worked this out. Do you get what I'm telling you?
I'm hearing you, ma'am.
You do? All right then. I did not hear thank you from you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Now you are smiling. I hope you are happy too. And I would love the two of you to maintain your relationship for whatever it is. Don't be cocky. There is a trace of arrogance in you that I see. It's not good.
Sorry.
Be humble.
Sorry.
That's my judgment.
All right.
Businesses in Africa can be very challenging. In Nigeria, it is particularly intimidating, and successful builders have learned how to navigate a hostile environment to unlock opportunities. But one major challenge businesses face is how to filter through the noise and identify where their ideal customers exist. Get insight and practical steps from industry players and captains of industries. Hear success stories to help you make informed decisions as you scale your business in Nigeria. Watch Business Insights at this time on PlusTvAfrica.
How can we have peace without justice?
Plus Politics. It's not just another political conversation, it's about keeping you in the know. The relevant interviews, asking the tough questions to those that matter. Get the answers you need. Does it mean that the people who were injured, people who were shot at, those who were involved in that stampede are not going to get justice?
It is unfortunate, it is sad that we have a government of deaf and dumb.
Analysis from top experts.
The last election was not really an election.
We feel that Obasanjo has a very special place in his heart for hating Ijaw people.
I think it really boils down to two things. One, trust and accountability.
Plus Politics, every weeknight at 7 p.m. on Plus TV Africa.
There is no voting on social media. To vote, you would require a permanent voter's card. To get your PVC, visit cvr.inecnigeria.org. Create your account with a valid email address and start the registration process. An activation link will be sent to you. Click on the link and activate your account. Fill out the form, pick and submit a convenient date and time for your biometrics. Print the application slip, which should have your QR code. On the appointed date, go to the nearest INEC office for your biometric capturing. Thereafter, you will get a registration slip to pick your permanent voter's card when ready. Get your PVC today. This message is from PlusTvAfrica.
Good afternoon. I am Adebanke Odunuri, and this is the news update. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo will host senators on the platform of the All Progressives Congress (APC) later this evening. This was contained in a letter of invitation read by Senate President Ahmed Lawan at plenary. The meeting is expected to take place at Aguda House by 6:30 p.m. On Sunday, Osinbajo hosted APC governors for iftar, where he informed them of his ambition to contest for the office of presidency in 2023. The national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Abdullahi Adamu, and his deputy, Abubakar Kyari, have resigned from the Senate. Adamu and Kyari tendered their resignation in separate letters read by Senate President Ahmed Lawan on the floor on Tuesday. They said their action became necessary following their emergence as national chairman and deputy national chairman north of the APC, respectively. The federal lawmaker representing Abia North Senatorial District and the chief whip of the Nigerian Senate, Senator Orji Kalu, says he will not contest for the seat of the presidency on the condition that it was zoned to the southeast. Speaking to Senate correspondents at the National Assembly before plenary, the lawmaker said he is not desperate to clinch the number one seat, but wants the southeast considered in the zoning arrangements.
The decision of the party is supreme. If they zone it to Southeast, I'm a number one candidate. There are only two zones that have never been present in Nigeria, the Northeast and the Southeast. So if they bring it to my zone, I'm capable. I have everything it takes to deliver APC to the victory, not by talking, by action, and rework the economy. That every Nigerian, no matter where you live or stay, you'll be happy. In your pocket, in your house, in your electricity, in your water, in everything. And bring back the proudness of Nigerians to carry Nigerian passports. This one I can be capable of doing. Yes, we are, all the candidates know themselves. You know, politics, you people take this politics as a joke. Everybody you say is a presidential candidate. What is their experience? Their public experience, their capacity to build. I employ 13,000 workers in Nigeria. And I have capacity to manage people. Politics is not just his ability to make everybody happy. That is what it's all about. It's not who becomes president. President is about openness, it's about ability to manage you journalists, ability to manage mechanics, ability to manage professors, ability to manage legislators like Ahmed Lawan. You have to manage them. These are what politics is all about.
A cross-section of Nigerians who have exercised their civic responsibilities by voting during elections says though the process is usually stressful, it is worth it, as it gives a sense of fulfillment as a citizen. In this report, our correspondent Jacinta Obiuku x-rays ways of ending voter apathy.
One responsibility of citizens is voting. The law does not require citizens to vote, but voting is a very important part of any democracy. By voting, citizens are participating in the democratic process, but when not, they hand over political power to views they may oppose. While some say they are not confident in the election process in the country over the years, others believe it is their right to choose who governs them, irrespective of the cumbersome voting system.
It will make me feel fulfilled like a Nigerian because I voted for the person that I needed and they gave me the person. That was 2011 when Goodluck and Buhari, the first time. That was nice. I voted and I enjoyed that time because it was free and fair election.
Well, normally in this country, we just vote. We try our best to vote. So if you vote and it turns out negative, you try again another year.
I have voted before several times. I can't count it. So, and why we are voting is because if I'm voting for somebody, I'm voting because I want the person to lead us very well.
I'll still continue to vote because I believe one day everything will change for good. My perception concerning our election is that our vote doesn't count. So, but I felt if you continue saying that, we won't go anywhere. So I decided to go out and then cast my vote for who I voted for.
Political analyst Professor Sani Fege shared his voting experience, which he believes has been worthwhile. He spoke alongside Babatunde Olaoluwa, who is an executive member of the All Progressives Congress in Lagos State.
My first time of voting was in the Second Republic. That was 1979 when I was a graduate assistant. At that time, there wasn't much hassle in terms of voter registration. It was quite arranged, okay system. The process was smooth, and people were elated. We were well educated in terms of what was expected of us as voters. The political parties campaigned vigorously to enlighten the electorate.
Voting for the first time occurred in 1983 during the UPN days. And in those days, there was a sense of fulfillment. In fact, before the day came up, you will be yearning for it because it was a performing government. It was a government that had direction. And because it impacted positively on the people, particularly those of us who were younger ones, are still going through our education, then we wanted that government to continue in office.
Fege and Babatunde share the same opinion. Nigerians must not trivialize their civic responsibility.
The fate of the country today and in the future is in their hands because democracy has given us the opportunity to shape how things will go in terms of politics and governance.
All of us put together need to talk to ourselves. The kind of orientation that is injected into the youth these days about voting is not encouraging. And I think something needs to be done to ensure that we have every individual of voting age to vote at every election so that the government put in place will be the government of the people.
Recently, the renowned clergy Pastor Enoch Adeboye charged his congregation to ensure they all participate in the next elections as it's their right.
Before you became a Christian, you are a Nigerian. You have a duty to your country to register, to vote, to make sure that your vote will count. You have a duty to belong to any party of your choice at the very grassroots. You can't sit down, fold your hands, refuse to vote, and then begin to complain about the government.
Perhaps this is a clarion call to all Nigerians, including human rights activists, the mass media, and even political parties to begin engaging the people in voter education. With many big names aspiring to lead, especially from Asuro, 2023 election may just be a game changer for eligible voters. Jacinta Obuku, Plus TV News.
The Academic Staff Union of Universities Abuja Zone says there will be no resumption in public universities until the renegotiated 2009 agreement is signed, implemented, and the University Transparency and Accountability Solution deployed. The ASU Zonal Coordinator, Dr. Salawu Lawal, made this known during a press conference at the University of Abuja in Gwagwalada. According to him, members are ready to return to their duty posts as soon as their demands are met by the federal government. Meanwhile, the federal government said that it is not opposed to renegotiations of the conditions of service of all workers in the public universities across the country. The Minister of Labour and Employment, Chris Ngige, said this while receiving members of the government side of the 2009 federal government university-based unions agreement renegotiated committee led by Chairman Professor Nimi Briggs. And former United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon has commended President Muhammadu Buhari for handling security and related challenges facing Nigeria. Ban Ki-moon said this during a phone conversation with President Buhari. He expressed appreciation for the support of two prominent citizens of Nigeria, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, President's Chief of Staff and one-time UN Secretary General, and Amina Mohammed, the current Deputy Secretary General, stressing that they are among the best he has ever worked with. On his part, Buhari expressed Nigeria's gratitude to the former United Nations Secretary General for his commitment to the progress and socio-economic development of the country. Families of passengers who were abducted in the Abuja-Kaduna train attack have issued a 72-hour ultimatum to the federal government to secure their release. They gave the ultimatum after a meeting stating that the government fails to do so, they will take a decision on how to rescue their relatives on their own. The attack, which occurred on March 28 at Dutse Forest in Chikun local government area of Kaduna State, left 8 people killed and 26 others injured, while scores of passengers went missing, suspected to have been abducted by the bandits. 2 weeks after the victims went missing, their families are hopeful of freedom from captivity, although they have refused to rule out the option of negotiating with the bandits. And as power supply continues to get worse, Nigerians speak out in anger. And that's on Street Views. Let's take a listen.
I burn generator from almost on daily basis. I mean, by the time I calculate the money I spend for fuel on daily basis, I honestly tell myself the truth that this power issue is something else. It's really dealing with us Nigerians.
This thing is affecting so many companies. My doctor has a company. I know how many fuel we run every day. People that cannot afford such, they end up packing up and going to other countries. Can I say in a month we'll have like 3 times? Is that power supply? So every day I burn fuel. Every day I buy fuel 2,000 in my house. It's very ridiculous.
We are being cheated. There is no light. I live at Ikoyi. They don't give us light. Like 3 times a week, and it's about 2 to 3 hours, and it's gone. There is money in this country, but we don't know where the money is going to. No water, no light, no good roads. What can we do?
It's affecting me. It's affecting me. See me as I'm sweating. If I bath finish like this, I begin sweating. In the evening, sweating. Midnight, sweating. All my children, they are sick now. No lights, and they are still bring the bill. Where is the money? And now, the bill is high. What are we using? Fan, television. So it's finished. I'm fit. I'm not using an oven. I'm not using washing machine. And they are bringing crazy bill for what? And no light. We are suffering from this Nigeria.
There is no light in my area. No single light. But we are paying for light, but we never see light. Sometimes, once in 2 weeks. Sometimes you will not even see it.
And moving on to other parts of Africa, authorities say at least 5 people have been killed in floods and mudslides across South Africa's port city of Durban following heavy rains in recent days. Days of rains flooded several areas and shut dozens of roads across the city, which is popular for its idyllic beaches. Video footage shared by private rescue workers and paramedics shows flooded city highways, submerged cars and collapsed houses. The Risk Management Department in the southwestern province of KwaZulu-Natal, of which Durban is the largest city, urged people to stay at home and ordered those residing in lower-lying areas to move to higher ground. And that's the news update. For more stories, please follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at PlusTvAfrica, and to subscribe to our YouTube channel at PlusTvAfrica and PlusTvAfrica Lifestyle. I am Adebanke Odunui. Many thanks for watching.
There is no voting on social media. To vote, you would require permanent voter's card. To get your PVC, visit cvr.inecnigeria.org. Create your account with a valid email address and start the registration process. An activation link will be sent to you. Click on the link and activate your account. Fill out the form, pick and submit a convenient date and time for your biometrics. Print the application slip, which should have your QR code. On the appointed date, go to the nearest INEC office for your biometric capturing. Thereafter, you will get a registration slip to pick your permanent voter's card when ready. Get your PVC today. This message is from PlusTvAfrica.
It is engagement we need to have.
Those who suffer miscarriages are never taken into account.
Members of the National Assembly are also influence peddlers.
You are sitting on Nigerians' money.
From the Babin, I pay my rent. On the Babin, I send my children to school.
A consultative engagement.
No any tangible notification before they ban us.
It's one thing for people to be at your back and the heat of the moment. There's another thing for them to still be with you when push comes to shove.
I will do everything to take Lagos out of the national grid.
Businesses in Africa can be very challenging. In Nigeria, it is particularly intimidating, and successful builders have learned how to navigate a hostile environment to unlock opportunities. But one major challenge businesses face is how to filter through the noise and identify where their ideal customers exist. Get insight and practical steps from industry players and captains of industries. Hear success stories to help you make informed decisions as you scale your business in Nigeria. Watch Business Insights at this time on PlusTvAfrica.
Life can be fun and rewarding, but it also comes with some risk. As in business, you win some, you lose some. And that's why you need to be wise in the choices you make. It's like placing a bet. Again, you need to be wise. Wise in choosing an innovative platform with the highest market options and highest odds ever. That's why Winners Golden Bet, the leader in online, in-shop, virtual, and live sports betting, gives you enhanced platforms that offer you the best chances of winning. For betting on live soccer matches, live dog races, and virtual games. Winners Golden Bet is your best bet. Instant payment of winnings guaranteed. Play online or in any of our numerous shops nearest to you.
Hey guys, be wise. Play on Winners Golden Bet.
Winners Golden Bet, the wise choice.
This area was really well known to our ancestors. They came through here, they camped, they had sites where they always returned to. The buffalo followed the stars, and we followed the buffalo.
My grandmother's told me about the Lakota way of life. The Lakota woman, she has to be really strong. I'm pretty sure she cries, but it's always hidden. Because she has to show that strength to the family so that they can grow that strength too. So that's her role in the Lakota way of life.
My grandfather picked this area because of the creek and the water, the canyons and the trees. My name is Leola One Feather, and I live at Munditni. And this is where I grew up. Get out of there. My grandmother bought this trailer house. It's been here for 40 years. And we haven't had running water for probably when the trailer house shifted. God, it was so long ago. Like 30 years ago. My mom and dad and I, that was our bed. I finally outgrew them, but it was so cold in the winter, I'd have to sleep between them. Nochba. Nochba means push your foot in. Like cave it in, that's what it means. Yeah, you broke it. That was your birthday present. I just got on Social Security, and since I got these kids, I didn't get any assistance for them. They gave me $308 for food stamps for 3 of them. Their mom is in jail right now. So our kids get in trouble, whether it's drugs or drinking or whatever. Now the burden of the children in our tribe is set on us grandmothers. Take this back in there and go in there and behave. We're talking, you're not listening. For all of our tribe, there's only like 2,000 jobs. It's all dependent on the federal contracts that our tribe gets. And we don't have a private sector, so we don't have the money to restart up businesses. We still have good land, you know, and it does bother a lot of people because we're surrounded by racism. We didn't want to be Americans. We wanted to just be our own people. Growing up in a home where the language is predominantly Lakota, I didn't know how to read Lakota, but I learned. We have our stories of creation and how we develop over time. So we have a whole different process that Americans haven't been able to figure out. They can't figure out why we think different. In our culture, the girls are more emotionally protected. We live on a merit system, so a girl might do things that are really brave, or she engaged in battle and saved children and lives, or did something real heroic. She'll have the respect and honor of the same as a man.
You're on that side. Woo! 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 Okay. Woo! Yeah. We're foot. Whoa! 3, 2, 1. How can I kick it? Take it to the gate. Take it to the gate. My parents, I love them, but sometimes they're a little strict on me. They kind of fight. They just argue a little times. So that's why I just don't really hang out with them. Oh, yeah, we got puppies. We got puppies. Oh, poor baby. Oh, puppy. I go different places. I mostly go to my grandma's. She took care of me for 2 years. Here you go, you can have the puppy back. She has I forgot what those things were where you take a kid away from your parents. Before my grandma took me, I used to have an uncle that took care of me. He got buried out close to Red Cloud School. Yeah, I only go see him once in a while, but I didn't usually see him because it's sad for me. Go inside. Yeah, I think we got that one down now. Oh, I can't reach it. Tippy toe. It won't reach. Cold. Here you go, patient. Thank you, sissy. Sisters. 7 Up. 7 Up, thumbs up. I didn't really go to school because I had a runny nose. So what I did in the morning was just eat oatmeal and then took another nap and played on my phone. AJ, what's 1 plus 2? 1 plus 2. What's 1? Okay. What is 3 plus 2? 9. Nope. Wrong. What's 3 plus 2? The only thing I usually do is clean. I clean, well, not really, but I usually help my grandpa do things. Hello. Thank you, Sandra.
I was in New York years ago. Okay. I heard it's dangerous here too.
Okay. I need a cup before you go. Yeah. Talk with the girls. Okay. Tickle. Wait, what you say?
Her and I, that's 4 generations.
I'm the Lakota woman. Right. Say yes.
Say Lakota.
Lakota.
Right here, the Oglala Lakota band. We got a mean loss of identity here due to forced assimilation.
The government done a good job on us. they're using some kind of cultural module called self-hate, where they had us ashamed of who we were.
You're listening to the Thunder Valley CDC Radio Hour.
Welcome to the Thunder Valley CDC Radio Hour. We'd just like to know what you're up to here on Pine Ridge today.
We're working with Native American nations in the U.S. to establish what we call girl societies, which are neighborhood-based safe places where girls can go to have fun, but also talk about problems and be able to pursue opportunities. I'm Kelly Hallman. I'm a Cherokee Nation citizen from Oklahoma.
Am I a community member visitor? Is that what I am, or?
I'm the founder and executive director of the Indigenous Adolescent Girls Empowerment Network.
Do I need a key?
Is this where we're meeting tomorrow?
Yes, so this is the space that you'll meet tomorrow. It's really a neat facility. There's none like it on the Oglala